thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. If you came out in person, thank you. Thank you for being here. And if you are on the road right now, I'm just letting you know that it is apocalyptic level traffic. Everything is stopped. All roadways are frozen. You should turn around immediately and come back to Midtown and join us here because we have drink specials, 3 taverns, Rowdy and Proud. If you buy one of those, I'm just letting you know that every beer you buy, $1 comes back to soccer in the streets, okay? It's for the kids. If you like America, if you like helping children, you're going to buy 3 taverns, Rowdy and Proud beer. I am joined by just a cavalcade of talent tonight. I am the least talented person up here, so I'm sorry in advance to everyone. We have an Ask Me Anything jar up here in the front, so for those of you who are listening on the road, if you start wondering what the heck is going on and why we're not talking soccer, that's why, because we're raising money for the kids. And joining us in this endeavor today, we have Mr. Mike Conti. Mike, how are you?
I'm good, Nick. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
Yep. Everyone can clap. We can clap.
Hold your applause for the end.
Yes. We have the godfather himself, the purveyor of all soccer knowledge here in the Southeast, Mr. Jason Longshore.
Yo, what's up?
And joining us up here as well is Mr. John Nelson, off microphone. Off mic. It's okay.
John played really well, by the way, on Saturday. Fair play to John Nelson. I'm impressed.
Yeah?
Very industrious couple minutes at the end of the match.
Yeah, it's all about that H, though.
So, guys, let's just get right into it. The city is a little troubled at the moment because the weekend did not go exactly in our favor. What are you guys seeing right now on your timeline? And what can we do to help maybe walk the masses back from the ledge?
You don't want to know.
No?
No, you don't want to see my timeline.
No?
If I mention the word possession, it's become a curse word. Possession, the ball, like having it. It's a bad thing. I kind of thought that having possession was a good thing.
One would think.
You would think that if you have the ball, you have a better chance to score?
Yes.
You know, just a theory.
It's a thought, yeah.
Yeah, I've started muting and blocking people.
Yeah.
It's gotten a tad bit personal now. I'm not going to say something I don't believe to placate the DeBoer out people and the negative. I'm not going to say something I don't believe. And I tried to dip my toe in the expected goals wormhole, and that didn't go very well yesterday. But look, the facts are the facts that no one wants to be 1-3-2 after 6 matches, but I don't think it's as bad as what people are making it out to be. It's not good. You aren't scoring, but and present company excluded, because this does not reflect the unanimous view of what I've seen in my timeline. It's gotten a tad bit petulant, and I think that's unfortunate because we're only 4 or 5 months off a championship here, folks. It's hard to repeat, number one, but number two, I think this club has earned a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, and it is very, very difficult to do what Atlanta United did last year, to accumulate 69 points. There's a reason why that was the record until Red Bulls went to 71. It's hard. The line between a very good team and a very not-so-good team in MLS is very, very narrow. And furthermore, I think it's demeaning to Dallas. I think it's demeaning to Jesse Gonzalez. I think it's demeaning to Paxton Pomacall and Jesus Ferreira. I mean, they had guys who played pretty well, too. You're the champion now. You're going to have the target on your back. Atlanta United's got to respond a little bit better to it. And the atmosphere at home has got to be much better. It's not an intimidating place to play for opponents right now. But I also get the feeling that they are very, very close to a breakthrough. And I feel 100% better about where this club is now compared to where they were after they drew with Cincinnati in early March.
Yeah, things got overblown, I think, after this one because of the frustration. Look, the bigger issue, it's not about you had 70% of the possession. That's not a bad thing. You had 22 shots. That's not a bad thing. The bad thing is you conceded in the 6th minute. That's the problem. That's the number one problem. You've had 3 games where you've conceded very early on individual mistakes. That'll kill you. Every time you can have 70% of the possession and have more shots than you've had in any game but 2 in your club's history. But when you concede in the 6th minute, you're fighting uphill. And it makes it so much easier for the opposition to do what they want to do.
And it opens the door for time wasting, which is what you had again. And you had that. It was to a different degree in Columbus because conditions were so much in play. It was
Mother Nature was time wasting there.
Right, but Cincinnati was playing kind of cynically, even while behind. Philadelphia, once they got the goal right after halftime, they were able to play a little bit cynically. So you've got to be better in those individual moments. Really, you can pin this down right now to 3 times you have not gotten the result you wanted because of an individual mistake early. Okay, in Philadelphia, it was early second half, where Jeff Lorenowitz has a turnover in zone 14. In Columbus, it's extremely early. When the pitch was still playing true, you had Julian Gressel make a mistake, led to the Columbus goal. This past Saturday, LGP. LGP, unfortunately, did not have a great game. And he made a fatal mistake early, and that allowed Dallas, and as Jason said on the broadcast, I'm surprised Dallas decided to play as negatively as they did. We didn't think they had that in them. But when you get that early goal on the road, that's the by-the-book play, especially when you're playing against the champions.
First of all, let me go ahead and put on the record. I get no money from Atlanta United. I get no money from 92.9 The Game. No. To me, it's something where it's an easy trap to fall into for the DeBoer out crowd. It's the easy trap to fall into to say, I want this guy gone. I'm not getting the results I want. I don't feel the same way that I felt last season. DeBoering, whatever you want to call it. But the scarf I'm wearing right now is an AC Milan scarf, right? And we had a guy named Massimiliano Allegri who led us to a Scudetto. He had a very competitive Milan team, and then the Milan faithful started screaming, we want him out. It's boring. He's no good. And you know what happened after that? They went through manager after manager after manager after manager, all former Milan greats who couldn't get the job done, and now we're fighting financial fair play. We're barely hanging on to a Champions League spot, which is blowing my mind, and if we get it, it's going to be phenomenal. But it's a black hole. When you cross that threshold and say, you know what, we're firing a guy very early because of the way we feel, it's very problematic. If this continues, like into June, okay, then maybe we start having that conversation. But right now, let's take a step back because I promise you guys, if you are new to soccer in general, I'll take it to a different direction for you. How many Tennessee fans said, we want Phil Fulmer out? This guy's boring, he's no good. And how many of you guys would go back and say, okay, never mind. Please, if I can get my DeLorean and go back, we're going to keep Fulmer. How many of them would do that now?
100%. Talk to Nebraska fans who are trying to run Frank Solich out of town. Yeah. They still haven't gotten that right.
No.
More than a decade later.
Yeah, and so it's something where the results are not there. However, if the possession was way down, if the shots were way down, and they were just middling about the midfield, then it's a completely different conversation, and then I might start joining you on that cliff, but I'm not there yet.
Well, and can we not hold the players a little bit accountable?
We absolutely can.
Okay, and that's what I think has been a little bit unfair about the tone that I've been seeing on my timeline over the last 48 hours. Is, you're going to blame this all on the manager, but there's no discussion about Joseph having a sitter right at the end of regulation time. There's no discussion about Barco hitting the bar twice. Now, I mean, there are still quality chances that he created, but it's like Frank said after the match on Saturday. He's right. I can't go out and score the goals for them.
And that's the exact answer he should give.
Yeah.
Because if you're making money, Joseph Martinez money, let's be honest, you got to score the goals.
Yeah.
And if you're a defender and you want to say, yes, I want to be in transfer discussions. Yes, I want to be viewed as one of the best defenders in the league.
Yes, I want to play for Argentina.
Yes, I want to play for Argentina. Then play like you're ready to play for Argentina. Mm-hmm. And I get that the players are sacred cows. We cannot go near them. We cannot talk about them. I'm sorry. I'm ready to start talking about players. I feel like it's time to be able to get there and say, player X is not doing the job. That doesn't mean the guy needs to be ran out of town. It just means that maybe we need to hold him a little more accountable.
That's why you bring in guys for competition.
Right.
I mean, this was something... Go back and read some of the interviews from Pep Guardiola after Manchester City did what they did last year. Unbelievable year, 100 points. I mean, it's one of the best seasons in Premier League history. And he talked about it. Coming in, it's really easy to go from that 100% to win the title. And in a playoff system like MLS, you have to be at 100% to win that title. It's very easy to go from that to 90%, to 85%, because you just accomplished everything a few months ago. It's easy to take your foot off the gas just a little bit, and it's showing at times. You have to have competition for spots. You have to get guys healthy to have that competition for spots, And center back, you're going to have competition. You've got 3 guys who can start. You're going to have 2 spots. Left back, you're going to have competition when George Bello's there. I think he's the guy. He's got to earn it. Right back, Franco Escobar is going to slot in, but we've seen Michael Parkhurst do a fine job at right back. If Escobar's not up to snuff, he's going to sit the bench. You have to have that competition for spots because that's what's going to push this team. You can't coast through the first half of the season and be effective, not as MLS is continuing to grow. Seattle's been able to do it the last couple of years. It's getting harder and harder to do that. And right now in the East, you have the Red Bulls off of the year they had. They've got 1 win. They've been horrendous. You've got NYC, gets their first win. They've been bad. You've got Atlanta. You've got Portland out in the West who is in MLS Cup. They've been bad. Sporting Kansas City hasn't been great. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to stay on top in this league. No.
Can I make one just small point to piggyback on that? On January 15th, the opening day of training camp, Nick, if I would have told you, hey, on April 20th, Atlanta United will be down to 1 healthy left back, and it's not going to be Bello or Ambrose. They're going to be without Franco Escobar. They're going to be without Eric Rametti. Pity Martinez will barely be playing. You would think, if I were to tell you that on January 15th, and Almiron's gone, obviously, you would think, wow, Atlanta United's going to be in bad trouble.
Yeah.
They're going to be in really, really bad trouble. And I'm not saying they've played great. They obviously haven't scored to the degree that we hope they would. But to be honest with you, they've had to weather a couple different storms, some of them out of their control. This is what happens when you deal with these kinds of injuries that kind of compound upon itself. That's not the manager's fault.
No. There's going to be a transition period. And do I think that DeBoer could do an infinitely better job in his post-game press conferences? Sure. It's not – and I think it's more of a – there may be a charisma thing that's missing there where, he's like, yes, we had the good possession. We have to score the goals. That's not going to come across really well to anyone. But it's there. If you watch how the team has improved game by game, it's there. We said, there's not enough chances, guys. They're not shooting enough. 22 shots.
Consistently grown game after game.
Yeah.
Right.
It's there. It's growing. You just have to be patient. And I know that's my timeline gets hit as well, probably not near to the level that you guys do. But I understand and I get it. I'm just saying, everybody, let's take a step back and see how this develops.
Well, the thing that really gets to me is the insinuation that because we are on the team broadcast, we're shilling for the team. Again, no. I would hope you all have known me long enough on the radio in this market that I don't say things I don't believe. I see the play improving. I see the chances accumulating week after week after week. Jason, are we ever given talking points by the club? Are we ever told what we can and cannot say?
I've been doing podcasts from day one, and I've never had anybody from the club say, hey, don't say that. You shouldn't talk about this. Not one time ever.
Never. That's what gets bothersome to me. And that's why I think, there's a segment, I don't want to say it's unanimous, but I think there's a segment of this fan base that needs to handle this a little bit better. It is very, very hard to replicate what Atlanta United did last year. And I had so many people screaming at me over the weekend, well, they aren't passing the eye test. Yes, they are. Saturday passed the eye test with flying colors with the exception of they couldn't bury the however many key passes they created. I think, 14, 15?
Yeah, and that happened last year and in 2017.
Yeah, numerous
because
times.
It's soccer. It happens to every team in the world where you dominate the play, you have chances, you don't finish, you don't get the result. For me, the biggest issue I have is that early goal. And that's been a consistent problem. That's a much bigger issue. And I think there's been so much zeroing in on DeBoer or hashtags that were big in England. And instead of looking at, okay, what's actually happening here? The team's getting better in terms of what they do with the ball, but they're making some individual mistakes that are making life very, very difficult. They have to get that out of the game.
Yep. And just a quick reminder for everybody, if you are on your way down here, you have plenty of time. We're going to be here until 8 o'clock. We will be doing raffles. There is plenty of Rowdy and Proud beer waiting. What do we have here?
We got 2 U.S. training jerseys. They're not signed, but they're cool as shit.
Yes, they are.
We have 2 U.S. training jerseys now that are being added to the pile.
Remember, 1 ticket, $5.
1 ticket for $5.
5 tickets for $20.
5 tickets for $20. If you're not here. Okay, right. I'm getting yelled at.
We have mics for you,
Yeah,
Jess.
I'm getting yelled at in
Yeah,
English right now.
sit
Come
down.
on over.
Sit down.
Hello.
Okay, well, we have somebody right here, one of the queens of the South. This is Jessica Sharman's up here. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. Could you please just restate for the people listening and the people here what they need to know?
Absolutely. So we are raffling off several brilliant items, as you've just seen. We've got 2 new US training jerseys. They're beautiful. I think I might invest in a raffle ticket right now. Basically, the raffle tickets are 1 for $5, 5 for $20. So you get a little bit of a saving if you want to go in big. All the money goes to Soccer in the Streets. And if you are not here in person, because we wanted to include everyone, we know there's people that are based in Lake Lanier that are stuck in traffic, might not have made it. You can donate online to the Nations Cup website. Just put in the comment section SOH.
SOT,
SOT.
madam. SOT,
Whoops.
madam. Point of order. I wish
If you put SOH, we'll probably still give you a ticket,
I wish
honestly.
point of order, I wish the right good gentle lady from Reading would refer to the show by its proper initials, and that's SOT. Point of order, thank you.
My dad and my language teacher wouldn't be too impressed with my pronunciation today.
Now, when you buy raffle tickets or make a donation, you can ask a question. And we have our first question of the night. And Jess, it's good
goodness.
timing that you're up here.
I don't like where that's going.
It's specifically for you. What can teams do to bring more women to become fans of Major League Soccer?
I think you have to treat women like they're a regular fan. I think my biggest pet hate as a female in soccer is when people market and brand stuff just to you as a woman because they're treating you differently to the male audience. Now, I saw it recently, and I love the Atlanta United too. I think they're doing a great thing. But they've created something called Her Night. Now, I have a bit of an issue of this as a woman in soccer because I think every single soccer game I go to is my night, is my male counterpart's night, is everyone's night because this game belongs to everyone. So for me, I think you have to stop trying to market it to women and accept there are plenty of women in this world that want to play this game, that want to watch this game. You do not have to try to bring them. You need to welcome them and accept them to everything. And that's how you get women there, because there's already an audience. I mean, look at the toilet lines in the women's soccer games.
Yes.
They're bloody long because everyone wants to go. And it's a beautiful thing at a tailgate that every other person at least you see as a female. So stop trying so hard and just open your doors and they'll come. Everyone will come. That's my answer.
There we go. That's tremendous value. Whoever put in on that question, you got tremendous value for that. What do we have here? Okay, so let's go ahead. Can we get one more question? Let's get another question before we...
No.
We're going to the next question. And to describe the jersey, if I may, please, the U.S. jersey here. It is the red and blue stripe. It has the horizontal striping for those at home, and it has the stars on the arms. So for those who are trying to get a good mental image of what this particular jersey would be.
That's
sharp.
the Gold Cup jersey from last year, I believe, or 17? 17. There we
They're
go.
sharp.
They're brand new. They've still got the tag on it.
Yeah,
Look at that.
That's one of the best U.S. jerseys we've seen. All right, here's your next question, and I'm going to modify it just a little bit. The question is, why did Major League Soccer ever do the running start penalty kick?
Oh, my God. The
It
American-style
hold on,
penalty?
Hold on. It wasn't a penalty. It was for the shootout in a draw. So up through 99 or 2000, you didn't have games that ended in a draw. You did a best of 5, just like you do a penalty shootout, but it was from 35 yards out, and you had 5 seconds to dribble the goalkeeper.
Nick, you're a fan? Really?
I'm a huge fan of this.
Oh,
I know,
my
I love
What?
it.
Yes.
You
I-
Americans.
No,
Americans, man.
It introduces more skill and gives the
Yes.
goalkeeper more of a
That's
chance.
where I'm
No,
at.
it's a... No.
Goalkeepers make more
no.
saves on those. You, as a goalkeeper, should love this,
No.
Jess.
Oh. Stop trying to be different. Accept the rest of
Well,
the world. American... There was
No,
a
the
reason
rest of the
but-
world should change on this one.
Oh.
Instead of penalty shootouts, they should
America.
do the 35 yards.
And this wasn't an MLS creation. This was an NASL
This was a
creation,
North
wasn't it?
American Soccer League creation. Hey, I remember the Atlanta Ruckus in '95 when they went to the A-League Finals. They drew like 13 or 14 games because they just could not score any goals. But they were almost undefeated in the shootout. And you got a bonus point if you won the shootout. So they qualified for the playoffs just because of the shootout.
Yeah, but I just think the whole thing about Americans not thinking a tie
No,
is worthwhile. It's stupid in general. Look at college. In college, we used to play every Tuesday and every Saturday.
Stupid.
If it was tied, we would go to overtime because they didn't want it to tie. But the stupidest thing is if it tied after overtime, it was still a tie.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I just think Americans' obsession with winning is an iffy thing.
Let me clarify one thing. I would not have draws. Yes, you have draws. You don't change it for that. Instead of penalty shootouts, you have the 35-yard shootout. That's what I would change. Draws are great.
Do you not like awesome things, Jess?
I don't like American things.
I like awesome things, and when you would go to my, God bless the Thrashers, R.I.P. But whenever you would go and you would see the shootouts, and you saw this firsthand in person, it is amazing to watch. And I used to watch the old MLS when it was borderline unwatchable. And that was so exciting when you had that run up. It was just beautiful.
Not to mention, I think it levels the playing field for the goalkeeper.
I think it does a little bit. Here's the question I'm going to have for each of you, though. You're taking the shootout. You have 5 seconds to go at the goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. What's your approach? Because you see guys who will try to dribble the keeper. You see guys who will pop the ball in the air and go for the volley. You see guys who will juggle. Nick, what would your approach be on a shootout?
I'm going to run quite quickly forward, immediately fake to my left, then cut to the right, and slot the ball past the keeper.
And Jess Jarman's going to save your shot.
Probably.
Yeah, I've done that before on a professional level keeper, and it got in, so get on board.
Am I blessed with all the technical ability in the world?
Yes. You are Pity Martinez in this scenario.
So I would be capable of volleying over the keeper and then driving it in. Well, that's what I would try.
So you'd flick the ball in the air and then hit the volley.
Yes, or try to meg the keeper.
Okay.
That
you're
would be
that
fun
guy?
Too. I'm sorry.
You're the guy that every goalie hates.
But this is the world where I get to be in kind of fantasy land, because in reality I can't even run 35 yards, let alone
That's what I was going to say. That was my answer. I don't think I'm going to make it.
Well, no, but Jess,
that's a really quick 5 seconds.
You're down to the 10th round, the 11th round now. The goalkeeper has to take it. What do?
I panic and probably have squeaky bum time.
Of course.
No, but I think I would run as fast as I can and probably just take a decent shot before the goalie closed me down. I've got a bit of a rip of a right foot, so I nail it across my body to that left side corner.
All right. Okay. All right. There we go. So we've established near unanimously that the run-up is awesome. We have one lone holdout who...
she just hasn't experienced it enough. She'd come around if she saw it.
That's right. It's okay. We'll bring you around. But in the meantime, I am going to take a quick sip of my 3 Taverns Rowdy and Proud beer.
Why is that?
No, because $1 from each purchase goes to Soccer in the Streets.
Beer for the kids, guys. Beer for the kids.
Hashtag for the kids.
And that's how we do it. We are going to be coming to the mic here. Siempre United is here, ladies and gentlemen. They are in the building. Woo! We would like to welcome them up. And they will be joining us. Let's go. Come on, guys. They are now making their way to the mic. We're going to be doing like the radio-style broadcast for all of those who are listening.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Guys, how are you doing?
Good.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you coming out to Midtown on a Monday night. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves for the home team.
Oh, Jay. Hi. Hey, Jay.
The paparazzi is here now engaging hair. Siempre United.
Man,
the paparazzi is nuts. They're crazy.
Good to see you, Jay.
Paparazzi, we're going to have to ask for personal space here so the talent can work. All right, gentlemen, how we doing? How we feeling?
Good. Thank you for having us.
No, thank you. Yeah?
If you ask me personal, I'm good.
Yeah.
But, after Saturday is not that good. But still, I mean, the team played really good. It's just that the FC Dallas goalkeeper had the night of his life.
Right?
He blocked like 8 shots.
Everything. That kid... He's the reason why they won the game, plus bad luck, plus other factors that I don't want to get into it too much. But yeah, I think we were a little bit unlucky too. Mm-hmm. Soccer goes along hand to hand with luck, and we didn't have it on Saturday night. So
it was one of those games where it felt like anything that could go wrong in that final third did go wrong. Like, it was just one thing after the other, like, okay, we're going to hit the post. Okay, this guy does, like, a flying matrix save that 9 times out of 10 is going in. This just happens to be the 10th time it's not going in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you said you don't necessarily want to get into some other stuff that you think is going wrong, but in your opinion, is it a mentality issue with the players that needs to get sorted, or is it all coaching, or is it some kind of hybrid between?
I think so. It's
I would say in between.
hybrid
In the middle.
between,
There's something
like-
in the middle. There's a great ground. They haven't reached that level yet, but they need to meet in the middle. Like you got from the board, proposing or coaching or trying to coach his team, a multi-million-dollar team, and you have a full team full of stars, because that's what we are. We are a team stack of stars, but they don't seem to find a great ground, a common ground to push the trend forward. And, we get possession. We got tons of possession most of the games, but the only game that we didn't have the possession, we got the result. So I don't know if we're giving away the possession, we're going to get results. I will do that trade any day, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the team, if it's a mental thing or they're just lapses during the game that they just seem not fully concentrate in the game.
Yeah.
Especially the last line, the defense line. Everybody's eager to go up front that they forget they have their job to do in the back line. So I don't know. It's just there's like I said, several factors that they gotta tag one at a time.
To me, LGP is my favorite player on the team.
My boy.
Right. I love LGP. My son walked out with LGP at Bobby Dodd and was incredibly kind to him, right?
Nice.
But I know that he was a Tata Martino disciple. Whatever that man spoke, he internalized it. He felt it deep in his soul. I cannot help but notice that there has been a lapse in play for him this season. And as we talked about earlier, the man wants to play for Argentina. There's no getting around it. But from a mentality standpoint, if you are Frank de Boer, we're going to put you in Frank's shoes, both of you guys. Woo. Okay? You have a fan base that's coming down on you. You have players. They're hot. I mean, the players right now, you're not sure if you have the locker room lock, stock, and barrel. What's the message that you're going into that locker room with? If you are Frank de Boer, I'm putting it on you.
Ooh. I'll let you start. I will let you start.
Pass the buck.
I mean, it's hard to put yourself into his shoes. First of all, he had to feel a very difficult position left by Tata Martino. Tata left on the top of his career, Atlanta, leaving Atlanta champion of MLS. Something very hard to achieve. Then he comes to Atlanta saying that he's not going to change anything. Mm-hmm. And the first thing he does, he does change, formations and the way the style of Atlanta was playing these last two seasons. Mm-hmm. You see the difference, and it's fine for a new coach to try to adjust the team that he's coaching towards what he believes. But like you said, here comes the locker room. He doesn't know if the locker room is behind him or not. I mean, I don't know. Nobody knows. Just a player knows. But he can do only so much from the bench. He cannot put all the balls inside the goal. I mean, he's a coach. He can tell you he would like the team to play.
That's right.
But he cannot grab Martinez and okay, Joseph, here you go.
Yeah,
put it in. So it's hard. I mean, I put myself into his position because I coached before too. Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard to come into a new team.
And also, I would like to add that he needs to take time to study the players, because I had noticed him that putting players in position that they don't belong. Like, for example, sometimes he put Mikey Ambrose before the injury in the right wing when he belonged in the left wing, and some stuff like that. Like Escobar, he played in the left wing when he's
But
better.
one thing about that, though, and this is something that I think you have to keep in mind about how difficult it's been. He had to play Mikey Ambrose on the right in Monterrey because Julian Gressel rolled his ankle 2 days before, and you didn't have another right back. So, and in Franco Escobar in New England, that was specifically a 1v1 matchup. I actually liked that, seeing it, because they were starting to attack that side.
Yeah, but he didn't look that bad on that game.
It was just for defense. You had the game at that point. It was just to shut it down.
And it wasn't for that much time. He was like
just
for
to
10
shut the door.
minutes, 6 minutes, exactly. Yeah. That's it. But
But the
For
players
Mikey
look,
Ambrose,
they
it wasn't.
don't look comfortable. in
He
the
didn't
position.
look
No,
good.
he wasn't. But you're playing
on that
Monterrey.
win, we didn't play on that win. That win was like useless on that game, for my opinion.
No,
I mean,
Mikey played on the right in Monterrey, not in the second leg here.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So on Monterrey, that win was useless, in my opinion. So we did nothing on that win. So that's those small thing that he need to study those stuff. Like you cannot get to a team and go like demanding stuff like, no, you're gonna play this, you're gonna play that, No, they are professional players that they've been playing in a position for their whole life. Don't pretend to change something in one day to another.
This is something, Nick, that I want to bring you in on this
Okay.
because you've seen it around the world. I think we've all seen it if you follow the game anywhere. You see new managers come in and it takes them some time to get to know the squad.
Mm-hmm.
It takes them time. Pep Guardiola didn't win the Premier League in year one at Manchester City.
No, he did not.
You know, he struggled, and people said a lot of the same things that are being said about Frank de Boer here. I'm not saying Frank de Boer's Pep Guardiola,
No.
but it's very rare to go into a new job and succeed straight out of the gate.
There is a luxury. There's a reason why Tata Martino, when he came in, he said, I have a clean slate. And I don't think people understand the luxury that is for a manager, where you don't have a locker room with preset personalities. I'll use Real Madrid as an example. You walk in, and I don't care how successful you have been as a manager, you still have to deal with Sergio Ramos and his control over that locker room. And when you're a new manager and you walk in, I'm convinced that Tata Martino could have walked in and said, boys, if we all go and we take a dump at midfield, we're winning the next game. And they'd be like, done, finished, no problem.
Yeah.
On it, maestro, done. Frank de Boer could walk in and say, guys, we're going to do X, Y, Z, we're going to move this here, we're going to move this here. And the players are like, hey,
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Maybe it might work. But
You're right.
at the end of the day, there has to be trust on both sides between the players and the manager. And there has to be, the manager has to have time to implement the system properly. Because people thought that Carlo Ancelotti would be a failure at Chelsea. He did pretty darn well. People thought that Pep Guardiola would be a failure at Bayern Munich. People thought he'd be a failure at Man City. And there are people who are still calling Pep Guardiola a fraud because he crashed out of the Champions League. All I'm saying is the people who we call frauds, it's very rarely true.
Yeah.
People always, I have found in my vast experience that people tend to have a quality that just takes time to be revealed. And under the right situation and the right circumstances, a person's quality can be revealed. And I think that's what we need to do for Frank, is let him see, you know.
How I say this, like, I trust the process and all that. I'm
do
waiting
too.
for that. I'm not saying that take Fran de Boer out. Like, I'm reading on social media and all that. Like, some people already saying, like, no, Fran de Boer out. Like, let's raid Robin. Like, take him out, whatever. No, I'm not saying that because we are seeing the difference in the last two games, New England and FC Dallas. The team played good. Just the other team was better, technically. So just some little changes that they need to be changed. And I think so that the team is going to get in the place that it need to be.
We have the tools for succeed in this league. We have the tools. We have the players. We have the everything. The office, the front office. You know, everything we have done well. It proved itself last year.
Yeah.
You know, and under a new manager, it shouldn't be different. It's just a matter of time. You gotta, like he said, we gotta trust the process. It's as simple as that.
And for all of those who are watching Champions League and you're like, oh my God, Ajax, they upset Real Madrid. Oh my God, they beat Juve. How are they doing this with these farmed kids? It can happen.
Yeah.
If you give it time,
Leicester City.
you can build the academy.
You want to take that a step further? The whole thing about Ajax, you go back to when Frank de Boer was named manager at Ajax, they had completely lost their way. They had lost who they were. They weren't bringing kids to the academy. They were going out and spending money on big transfers. Martin Jol was managing. And Johan Cruyff, one of the last things he did in the game was something called the Velvet Revolution, where he created a plan. He got all former Ajax guys into the club, whether on the business side or on the academy side, and he got Frank de Boer in as the manager. And that was where you won 4 straight titles that no manager at Ajax has ever done before. Now, people have said, oh, well, he didn't win Champions League. He didn't do well in Champions League. No managers won 4 straight titles.
Yep.
But that started the group now that's coming through in Champions League is the group that came into the academy when all of that started in 2010, 2011, 2012. They're coming through now. That's how long, the process can take time at times.
And they're doing pretty darn well, if I say so myself. Now, let's go ahead and take a break from this and go to the questions. The great questions from the crowd.
You can make donations to ask questions.
Yes.
That's the way this is working today.
That's right.
So this one, I'm kind of thinking somebody behind a camera might have actually made a donation to ask this.
Okay. I'm terrified.
And this is for the Siempre United guys.
Okay.
How did it feel to get owned by Jay Riddle at paintball?
Oh my gosh.
What was the question again?
We have a before and after picture, so we can show you how he ended up after.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't pretty.
So we all know that Jay Riddle is, without question, the absolute marble-carved symbol of fitness and physical well-being.
Who knows this?
And Jay Riddle. And
Are
what
we
I'm
talking about the
saying,
same guy?
Peak athlete.
Yeah.
Peak athlete.
I'm thinking somebody else.
Were you guys completely covered head to toe in paint by this man?
He was smart. He played with us. He get over there,
okay.
and the guys, the owners of the place, like, hey, how are we gonna play? And he was like, oh, we are 9. So he included himself with us.
He didn't want to play against us.
He didn't want to play against us.
He's a
So
smart
that's-
guy. I gave him that. He's smart.
Okay.
So that's why.
So it's more about picking your allies than
Yeah.
Yeah.
raw
Choosing your
skill.
fights.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
A lot of talking, but
A lot of talking, but not much shooting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're saying that Jay is more Twitter fingers than trigger fingers?
something like that. Yeah.
That sounds about right. That's the Jay I know.
I think that's the Jay we all know and love. Okay. Next question. Do we have another question?
I said we all should do it together. We all go.
Oh, here we go. This is
we
a
should
good
do
one.
it to all of us.
This-
all
this
the podcasts.
This takes us
Podcast
out
wars.
of sad Atlanta United talk and brings us to potentially sad CONCACAF Gold Cup talk.
Ooh.
Which manager has more to prove this summer, Tata Martino or Greg Berhalter?
Can a fan base that expects nothing at the moment really expect more from their manager? It has to be Tata Martino with the most expectations, because I don't think any U.S. fan right now, and please feel free to yell and shout if I'm wrong.
Yes?
2017?
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
That's not that long ago.
That was not
Nick.
that long ago.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that Greg Berhalter has a massive mountain to climb, but I don't think anyone expects anything from him or this
I
organization.
think the Mexican the Mexican fan base is more. They put more pressure on the coaches
Yeah.
than the U.S. fan base. That's just my thought.
Well, ask Jurgen Klinsmann about that one.
Yeah.
He might argue with you.
Do you think it has more to do, not just because of the fact that he's managing Mexico, but also the fact that it's an Argentine managing Mexico? Does that factor in?
Yeah, and what he just do with the friendlies, that pushing all the way to the top. Mexican went crazy with all those results and all that. So they were criticizing him before he get there, and after the result, they were like, "Oh no, this is the coach. We want him."
I think they got he earned their trust, even though he's Argentinian, like you said. They're very nationalist when it comes to the national team.
Oh yeah,
if you know what I mean. So I think after the results of the friendly matches, he earned their trust. So they got the Mexican people in his pocket, and now they're ready to trust the process. What we didn't get from the board.
If they don't win the Gold Cup, though, does that trust go away?
Yes,
I think so.
Yes.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think they
so.
both have a ton to prove, but I think they have different things to prove.
Yeah.
Tata Martino has to win the Gold Cup for Mexico. I
think
think
that's-
anything less is a failure. If Berhalter
Yes.
doesn't make the final, I think it's a failure. There's no justification for the United States to lose in a semifinal to Panama or Jamaica or Costa Rica. They have to get to the final. If they lose to Mexico in the final,
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Because
I'm
there's
there with
a
you.
process coming on. But
It's okay.
Mexico, I think they have to win it, or you're going to have questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think it's the same thing, because in Italy, if you had a non-Italian managing the Italian national team, the country would be ready to riot. So I completely understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions here from the that we want to get to before?
Let's see.
Hold on. So did you donate, sir? Yes, I did. You did donate. Do you have your question in hand?
Oh.
Yeah. So you. Yeah, write it down, and then we'll read it out, and then we'll make fools
Here
of
we go.
ourselves.
No, this is a good one. This is a good one, and I definitely want opinions on this one.
Oh God.
Here we go.
Which one of the players has the best hair?
Oh,
No, it's a legitimate.
It's a serious question. It's a very important question.
It's a legitimate question.
I'm just saying,
So
Greg
we
said,
we had somebody say Miguel Almiron.
I mean, it
had the
didn't
best
say an
hair.
Atlanta United player. It can be any player.
"Oh, any player?"
The best hair.
Okay.
So-
The easy answer is Tito. The easy answer is Tito.
I will say Break Shea because he copied my style. That's the only thing, you know. That's
All right, so he has nice. So
that's the
it's
only
shaved on
thing.
the sides. He's
Breck
got the
has some pretty
ponytail.
epic hair.
yeah.
I will go and say that I believe personally, right, in my heart of hearts, that our good man, Mr. Leandro Gonzalez Perez, has the best hair because he's constantly adjusting it, tweaking it, fading it. His fade is almost always on point, and I'm just saying that takes work.
Yeah.
And you may look at my wonderful aerodynamic dude that I'm currently sporting and say, Nick, what in God's name do you know about hair? But at one
true.
point, I had the perfect Jersey Shore hair where there was a lot of product that kind of stuck up in the front. The fade was immaculate at all times.
Now
What
you start
product did
sounding
you
like
use?
Jay Riddle now.
Yeah, a little bit. What product did you use?
I used the 2B,
Okay.
the 2B stuff, because it was
Sounds
like,
good.
it would glue and it would just stay in space. Didn't matter what the wind was, the humidity, atmospheric conditions in general.
That wavy.
Oh, okay.
No. It was always super tight, ready
Oh,
to
yeah?
go.
All right.
The
That's
correct,
chef's kiss.
the correct answer to the last question, all time, Carlos Valderrama. There's just no.
Oh,
He's got the
yeah.
best hair.
El
All right,
pibe.
here's a serious question to finish up with you
Okay.
guys. Who is your pick for Copa America, or will Brazil blow it at home again?
That's my team. I will
Brazil?
say Brazil.
You got Brazil at home? Ooh. Okay.
That's
No.
my team. So
No, there's gonna be.
sorry,
I'm
Danny.
upset.
Sorry.
Yeah, Brazil's not winning it.
I think Colombia or Argentina can do it right.
I know.
What about you, Nick? What do you think?
I think that Colombia's explosiveness, and I don't think that Colombia has near the team issues that Brazil has when it comes to when you have a player like Neymar, and let's say Neymar's healthy and good to go.
That's what they said.
Let's say he is. We have to understand that that team does not necessarily function as it should when he's there. For all his talent, all his ability, something is missing. And I just think Colombia will capitalize. I think it's done. That's my pick.
I think you go into this thing, and Brazil's at home. They're going to have so much pressure and all the soap opera drama that is always around Brazil.
Yeah.
Something will happen. Argentina has even more soap opera drama, so forget it, even though that would be kind of nice for Messi to get the Copa America title he's been trying to get for so long in Brazil. I think Colombia is actually in a really good spot because there's no real serious pressure. You know, I mean, everybody's thinking Brazil or Argentina.
Yeah.
Colombia can kind of come in under the radar a little bit.
Argentina, I don't think so. They are gonna get even close.
They're just a mess.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. If Lionel Messi has that tournament that we know he can have, Argentina can go to the final for sure. We know that, but they're so dysfunctional.
And is it not one of the great footballing tragedies?
They are gonna disagree with me, but they need to get rid of Messi. So
Yep.
for Argentina to work, they need to get
I
rid of
don't know
Messi
about
already.
that. I don't know
I mean,
about that.
it's an interesting one because
It's my opinion.
right
So-
now you can't because he's still the GOAT. I mean, he's still that guy. But
But they're
do kind
depending
of
too
agree
much
with,
on them.
Well, that's the thing. I do kind of agree with you in the long term. I think Argentina can be better when they're not so dependent on one player. But you can't drop him right now. He has to say, I'm done, I'm retiring.
I'm telling you guys right now, Messi's not winning it, and it's going to be one of the greatest footballing tragedies of all time that man's going to walk
I know,
out.
it's sad. It's sad. But
Gentlemen, thank you so
Oh,
much
no,
for
no,
waiting.
no, no.
There's
No, we
another
have
one.
Wait,
Wait,
pause.
we're not
time
leaving
out.
yet.
Kelly,
Okay.
Kelly, what is that, Kelly?
Kelly made a big donation to ask Juan Fernando Quintero to enter Miami? Question mark?
Oh, yeah. Let's pack and go home.
Oh,
I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, it's not going to be Quintero. It's going to be James Rodriguez in Miami. James in Miami. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Nah, it's going to be James. Miami's going to spend a stupid amount of money to bring James Rodriguez to Miami. It's going to happen.
So here's the thing I've learned with Miami. Is that Miami will send the drawing in. It's going to be a very high-priced drawing of the player that they want. And it's going to be like, it's going to look like Ronaldo, right? They're going to do it, the strong standing look like that, and then what you're going to end up getting is like some C-list player from like Sri Lanka or something, that somebody you've never heard of in your life, because that's the most Miami thing compared to what's been going on.
No, that's what St. Louis would do. Miami is going to spend stupid, crazy money on
and they will spend it wrong.
No, they might spend it wrong, but it's going to be a name. It's going to be a big name.
That's what I heard.
They said that Griezmann is the one that's going there.
Well, okay.
But what would move the needle more in my... If you get to choose. Now, you might not because they might say no. But if you get to choose, let's say you've got the money, they both agreed to the contract, Antoine Griezmann or James Rodriguez in Miami, which one would you sign?
You got to put the butts in the seats.
Yeah, I will bring Griezmann, World Cup winner.
Yeah.
On the field, I'd bring Griezmann, but I think in the box office to make a statement in your first year, I think you bring James.
No.
I don't think so.
I think if you placate that one crowd and say, oh, it has to be James, but if you say we got a World Cup winner who's joining this team, and he comes on, and I mean, look, Griezmann's a good-looking guy, right? You can put him up on posters, and he comes in and he starts dropping like 3-4 different languages in his promos. Right, he speaks in French, he speaks in Spanish, he speaks in English,
and it's gonna be a surprise for the league.
And I'm telling you, I think they're not gonna they're gonna mess it up. Don't worry.
Here's the thing:
there's tourists in Miami.
There's a World Cup winner.
That's the thing. We know that.
So that's why the Miami Fusion was so successful with Valderrama, right?
It's not even that. Actually, they did draw pretty well with Valderrama.
But did they stay in business?
Well, no, because they had bigger issues. Here's the thing. You have to keep this in mind. I think we sometimes, deep into the soccer community, we know Antoine Griezmann. We know how great he is. Your average person on the street might not. I think James in Miami has a bigger Q rating. People know more about who he is.
If we are talking what Orlando do, like selling shirts, okay, yeah.
You have to do both.
Yeah.
And Orlando screwed it up because they signed Kaká and a bunch of guys who didn't pan out. Like, that's the problem, you have to find a balance.
Correction, as the AC Milan fan in the house, they signed the ghost of Ricky Kaká.
They did that,
They did not sign Ricky Kaká. They signed, like, the mummified corpse of him. May God rest his soul.
He was at least the reanimated corpse a few times. He was okay a few times.
A few times.
It's tough. It's tough because I think in Miami, like, there is a different perspective than... Like, Miami has to build differently than Cincinnati did. They have to build differently than Nashville will because Miami has to have a star. They can't come in and just say, we have a really good team. They have to have a superstar.
But is it a star? Is it a star because of his last name or a star who's actually won things?
Miami, it's got to be a star, honestly, because of both. You want to be honest about Miami, it's got to be both. If you just bring in a good player, I don't think they care. If you bring LeBron James in, then you draw.
But so let's go through.
Gotta bring a
they
player
weren't drawing with Dwayne Wade, and Dwayne Wade's a great player.
Did James Rodriguez win a lot of stuff? Did James Rodriguez win a lot of stuff?
Not more than Griezmann.
Well, then we're talking a different conversation. You want to go get Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi and really light stuff on fire?
Yeah.
Then do it. I'm all in.
I'm just saying, you're a star when you win, and you're a star when you win things. Nice, pretty trophies, nice, pretty serving dishes that you can hold up and say, ha, 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 look what we won. Yeah. James doesn't have a lot of those. Be 100. Keep it absolutely 100.
Then you better, if in Miami, you better spend on stupid money for a star.
2014? Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo's coming to the U.S. anytime soon.
No, he is not.
Nah.
Clink, clink. Clink, clink.
Yeah, handcuffs.
Clink, clink. Holla at your boy. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
We
thank you guys for having us.
How can people find you? When can people listen to you?
There you go.
So, you can find us everywhere, like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, like Siempre United or Siempre UTD in every platform, like Twitter. We just get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, so we just made that line.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks for the support,
for
guys.
now, it's the only Spanish-speaking podcast in Atlanta. So
there we go.
Until Jay Riddle learns Spanish.
Until Jay Riddle learns Spanish.
Yeah.
Which, judging by the way he learned film editing, is like 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away before that happens.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, so we have right here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We have wonderful stuff for you guys. Please keep the donations coming.
Raffle tickets, $5 a piece, 5 tickets for $20. You can buy them online if you're listening online. You have to send Jess. What's the code we're using online for the tickets? SOT. You have to put that in the comments code, and we're drawing for raffle winners at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So, and if you, again, we have a jersey, Atlanta United jersey. It is signed by the entire 2017 team. So for all of you out there who are signing petitions to bring back Yamil Assad, you, friends, can own a jersey with the signature of one Mr. Yamil Assad, the first goal scorer in Atlanta United history. That means something, right? Mr. Miguel Almiron. It's there. And it can be yours if you put in enough tickets to be the winning bidder, okay?
Tyrone Mears is on that jersey, too.
Tyrone Mears is on that jersey. Respect the name.
Kyle Rainish is on that jersey.
Kyle Rainish is on that jersey.
All right, let's get John and Kelly up here.
John and Kelly.
Let's tag in John and Kelly.
Let's go.
Because I've got a question for both of them to kick
John,
things
Kelly,
off.
Kelly Francis. Let's go.
All right, ladies
I have
first
to write
on
the
the answer here.
authoritative tweet, so maybe Kelly has to answer first.
Yes, Kelly has to answer first. Ladies first. Will the There you go. Will the new MLS playoff format hurt teams that don't get a home game?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Well, we could take this a few different ways. I think obviously on the field, how much is it a hurt for teams to not host a playoff game in the market, from the branding, from the marketing, from the business side of it?
Well, with anybody who's played sports in general, there's a hype and there's a feeling going into a match. There's a feeling going into a game, whether you play soccer, football, softball, whatever it is. There's this hype and there's feeling going into a game. And when you are obviously not at home, right? And you're not in a position where you can fully take advantage and fully fight to win that match because of the environment that you're walking into, whether it's hostile, whether it's cold or it's rainy, you're going into a climate that you're not familiar with. There are so many levels and there are so many pieces to the entirety of a match that have an effect on the way you play a game. Now, on the reverse side, you could be that team that just walks up and be like, you know what, I don't give a rat's patootie what the circumstances are that we're walking into, and you can have enough confidence and you can have enough mental fortitude to walk into that match and just turn it on its head. But there's a part with that are stipulations. So there's always you could walk into a match and change the effect of this game, but then there's always that small little fine print at the bottom that's but let's also remember it's your run up to the game. Yeah. So any team on any given day, and this is what I love about soccer, can completely change the expectation of a match. But it's a lot about feeling, and it's a lot about where you're coming from to get there.
To your point on that, if you draw NYCFC and they have a higher seed than you, and you play on that postage stamp,
on that U12, that U12 pitch in the Bronx,
and you don't get that return leg, you are completely beholden to the ridiculously small, clownish field, right? And let's call it what it is. NYCFC, you should be ashamed of your ridiculously small pitch. And I think you clowns should be booted.
Another giant strip of sod just came up, Nick.
Yeah, I mean it's the field. It's the field.
More turf raccoons.
You are putting your players in danger playing on a turf like that, and you pay an extreme amount of money for these guys, right? To maintain them, to keep them healthy, and you're basically making them play on a turf that's going to cause them to be injured. What are you doing?
Let's go back to the playoff format as just in general. John, what do you think of how much of an effect is it going to have on this MLS season with now the one and done higher seed host? That's it.
I mean, we've seen teams come into environments and not really care, and you've got a hot keeper, and it doesn't really matter. Yep. So, I mean, for me, you look at a matchup, you sit there and say, okay, matchup A, what was this team like coming into this particular round? And if you've got a hot keeper, I think one and done, it really becomes irrelevant at points. Honestly, it depends on the matchup at the time. We saw it with Columbus and Zach Steffen. You get Zach Steffen come in here, stand on his head, season's over. Bottom line. And, I mean, that's what it is about the postseason. You get a hot keeper, and you could be out in a hurry.
That's why I don't like it being one game.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think Mexico has the best playoff format, and it's what the MLS should have taken. You play Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday, Sunday. That's your dates. You play home and away. It's 2 legs, just like everywhere else. And the thing that I like that they do that makes the regular season meaningful is the tie break is the higher seed advances. If it's tied, the better regular season team advances.
That's
that
smart.
way the regular season means something, but you get 2 games and each team gets a home game. I'd do the final that way.
Yeah, I dig that.
So, Jason, you're saying that there's a league out there that took a common sense approach to a problem and then implemented that solution?
Yeah, definitely. It happens.
What are you saying?
I know, it's crazy.
Can you rephrase that? I'm not understanding.
What I'm saying is that there's a league out there that said, hey, we have a problem or a potential problem that we should address in advance. How do we address this problem?
Logic,
reason,
Deduction.
And MLS seems to enjoy putting rules against itself that somehow help no one. And I'm just curious as to why they continue to do this. So I don't know if they're like sniffing white out on the weekends up in league office. I don't know. Drinking Drano recreationally. But let's start implementing some logic and reason in these decisions.
I mean, at least in other sports, when you have a 1 and an 8, it's a series where you go after it. It could be best of 5, best of 7. And if that 8 seed gets hot, sweeps you out 4, you're done. At least you've had a series and a chance to do something.
You get a home game. I mean, I think if you're going to be in the postseason, you should get a home game.
Yep.
If you're in, you're in. Let's not do Costa Rica's playoff format where like you have crazy like the first place team gets basically an out. If they get knocked out, they get another chance at the winner.
Or Argentina,
Weird.
where you just add another competition.
Argentina, you just have cups, come out of nowhere, and you play constant like cup competitions on a regular basis.
Right.
That's the best thing
does
ever.
Does any of this figuring out of the playoff formats, the now recent announcement of going to 30 teams, do we think any of this plays into the fact that MLS is growing at such a rapid rate that they don't really... I mean, anybody has the time to sit down and think through a process and think through a system, but is it just a fact that we're growing so rapidly that sometimes things like this and playoff formats tend to come with time and just trial and error?
No, I think MLS is different because you're still handicapped by managers who don't want to, or by team owners who don't want to succeed. You have team owners that say, I'm willing to compete at this threshold. Whatever this dollar buys, that's my competition level. And if we can, and I want to make sure that everyone else gets dragged down to this level, which is why you see some team owners or team operators for the pro rel peoples out there. That's why you see them screaming and yelling about, oh, wait, no, we have to cap the DPs, reduce the number of DPs, reduce the amount of TAM, because they're not ready to compete at that level. I think when we get more owners like Arthur Blank,
right,
and the LAFC ownership contingent who say, this is what we're willing to do, and you get those older guys out, then I think you will have that nice common sense change that needs to be effected for all the teams to move forward into a different stratosphere.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the next question. It's a Women's World Cup year. So
France.
No. Who is your favorite?
That's we're not asking who our picks are. France.
No. Who is your favorite female soccer player right now? Let's say right now, not ever, right now.
Wow.
And if you don't say Tobin Heath, you're wrong. Because Tobin Heath is amazing.
No. I'm going to say
all the sauce.
McCall Zerboni
I like that one.
is my
I
favorite.
like that one.
Yeah,
See,
I'm right
I would
there
have gone that just because of sandpaper alone.
I'm just saying, McCall Zerboni, and when I worked for the Atlanta Beat, I watched her in action. When they said, we need a forward, she said, I'll play it. I need a midfielder, play it. Defensive back, played it. It didn't matter. If Hope Solo went down, I'm pretty sure McCall would have put gloves on and jumped in the goal. Without question, her work rate, her drive, her discipline, she is absolutely, without question, my favorite female soccer player right now.
I can't argue that. That's pretty good. Okay, you get a pass. Kelly, you?
Mine's Mallory Pugh.
Okay.
I think she's electric. She's dynamic. She's quick thinking. There's a feeling when she gets on the ball that something's about to happen. She's not reached her prime, so for me, it's exciting to see where she gets to go from here, what she can develop into. But I think we're going to see a lot out of her, honestly, in this World Cup run, and I think that she's going to surprise a lot of people. And not that she has any doubters or people who don't think that maybe she should be a starting or anything along that lines, but I really think Mallory Pugh is going to have a breakout season, and what a better time and what a better place to do that than the World Cup.
John, what about you?
Well, since Nick took Zerboni, I'll just go Lynn Williams, although Marta was hanging right there.
Marta's always right there.
Then I would have had to dive across the table. No, for me, it's Lynn Williams just because of what we've been able to see and with our coverage on soccer down here and covering the NWSL and the North Carolina Courage. Mm-hmm. I like what I've seen from Lynn Williams since Nick stole my answer.
And Lynn's probably not going to make the World Cup roster, which is kind of crazy.
Yes.
Let's take a step past this. Okay, you brought up NWSL. There's been a lot of talk about NWSL's growth and what's going to happen next with it. Utah, if you didn't see, Utah over the weekend, their home opener, they drew 18,000 plus
Love that.
for the Utah Royals.
Heck yeah.
Would Atlanta draw those kind of numbers with an NWSL team? Yeah, there you go.
Jillian, I think, is already going to be buying season tickets.
Everybody. Yeah, I think they would. I think that there's a very strong fan base in Atlanta regardless, right? So no matter who is playing on the pitch, whether it's male or female, Atlanta's going to show up because they love and they support our team and they support our teams. And additionally, we are a soccer city now. Whether people agree with it, whether they still think we've got something to prove, we don't. 100%, if we have a women's soccer team, I'm going to be at every match. I will have a season ticket. I know many people in this room will also do the same, and I know that it's going to be a quality product because our team does nothing less than that.
What do you name them? What do you name the team?
Atlanta United. You got to just go with Atlanta United.
You can't. You can't because of the marketing deals with Nike and Adidas. You literally cannot call it Atlanta United Women or Atlanta United Ladies. That's why Portland is the Thorns instead of the Timbers. It's all marketing dollars.
Okay, so any good marketing name doesn't, I feel like, come up on the fly. I feel like that comes with a lot of brainstorming.
Right.
So I haven't even started brainstorming what a possible name would be because as much as I'm willing and wanting for there to be a team here, I don't think our ownership is at that place yet where they're about to pull the trigger.
I think they're closer. I think they're closer than you might think.
Were,
yeah.
Something I saw with the beat is that location matters because Fifth Third Bank Stadium was in its current state. The pitch was always immaculate. They always do a phenomenal job there, but they had trouble drawing. And you had Hope Solo on the field. You had Tobin Heath that was injured at the time. You had Carly Lloyd. You had people there. But I don't think that there was enough investment in marketing. I don't think there was enough enough information, period, to get that team up. But
yeah, the league was a different issue.
The league was a different issue, but you have to put butts in seats.
Yeah.
And so I think that if we get a team, if we get a women's team.
Downtown?
I think it needs to be downtown.
You
and
play
I think
at Mercedes-Benz.
Has to be, play at Mercedes-Benz, and the marketing needs to have investment. The marketing needs to be there.
No, 100%. And this is one of the things that is most important. It's like, for example, the Chicago Stars, right?
Yeah, Red Stars.
Red Stars, that was great.
They just came out with an insane promo for their new kits. There is time and there is effort put into marketing. And if there isn't time and effort, then the quality and the turnout's not going to be there. It's the same thing we see for the first team. You always see tweets about upcoming matches, things that are going on. They're constantly in your face to let you know, we're here, we're there, come see us. The same sort of effort and drive has to be done for the women's team, and 120 million %, it has to be at Mercedes-Benz.
Here's the question I have. If you did what the Red Stars did this past weekend, so Chicago Fire played Colorado at 1 o'clock, the Red Stars played at 3:30.
Yes.
Would you stay for both?
Oh,
yes.
Heck yes, I would.
Yeah,
I'd be so lit after that game. Woo. But that's the point. It's planning efficiently. It's smart scheduling for teams. It's knowing that you already have a fan base that's going to be in the building.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, 2 for 1s
You
or
get
whatever,
2
however you want
for
to call
1?
it. Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just been handed breaking news.
Breaking news.
Thierry Henry to the Red Bulls.
We now have 4 aquarium passes to be added to our raffle. So for those of you who may not be like super heavy invested in soccer, but you're still here because you
for
might,
one day.
You might like me.
Yeah.
One day.
4 tickets for one day.
4 tickets one day. Yes, you can be a part of this. Throw in the cash, get in the raffle, get your aquarium passes, and have a great day, causing lots of ruckus with the beluga whales.
Retail value of $200 for that one. That's pretty good.
$200. That's value.
Guys, I'm just saying, going and seeing the sea otters alone is worth it.
Oh, yeah. I'd buy some raffle tickets to see the otters.
Kyle Rainish signed the jersey.
Kyle Rainish signed that
He did.
jersey. Get
It's
in
true.
line.
It's true.
Okay, so
my Lord.
we have all established here that we believe that NWSL could work.
Yes.
And
Played at
this town.
Mercedes-Benz, changed women's soccer in the United States forever.
Yeah.
Look, I think when you talk about the ownership group here, Arthur Blank has always wanted to leave a legacy in the city, and most things he does is involved in leaving a legacy. Arthur Blank has changed Major League Soccer for the better. Arthur Blank could have an even bigger impact on the National Women's Soccer League.
Yeah.
And completely change the game for the pro women's league in the United States.
No doubt.
Let's take this one step further with the national team and the World Cup and all that.
France.
John's choosing France for the Women's World Cup.
He is seconded by me.
He is seconded.
Spain is my wild card.
Oh.
Spain's a good wild card.
Vero
honestly.
Boquet. If that's the
And
name
Marta
you'll
will
get
dive.
to know this summer watching the Women's World Cup. Vero Boquet.
Hey, Jason.
Yes. Yes.
During the Men's World Cup, somebody picked France as their dark horse. Who was that person?
I don't know. Who was it, Nick?
That was
Jay
me.
Riddle.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
You know who didn't pick France as their dark horse and still picked them as their number 1 because
Who's
I
that?
love that team and I'm French?
Who is that?
Me.
Well done. So
Thank
there's 2
you.
people at this table who know what's going on in the world.
I picked
France.
Harry Kane as the Golden Boot winner. I did that on TV. That happened. That was cool. Give me something.
My entire bracket blew up after the group stage.
Did it
There we-
really?
So can we talk a minute about what the women need to do? The U.S.
Well,
women.
wait a
need to
second.
do?
Can we talk about a minute how Jay Riddle has periscoped this whole thing for an hour and 10 minutes and his arm has not died yet?
Well done, Jay.
He's
Jay
been
Riddle's
switching
a
arms.
beast.
It's the Coke Zero,
Except
honestly.
at paintball.
But the U.S. women are falling behind. The rest of the world's catching up.
Yeah.
What needs to happen to get the U.S.
It
women?
needed to happen a cycle ago.
2 cycles ago. You're not developing enough young talent. You think the men's game is not diverse. Go look at some of the U.S. women's youth national team rosters. It's not diverse enough. There's not enough outreach enough. There's not the professional youth development that we're seeing in MLS. You're not going out into communities to grow the game enough. The professional league right now, it's very hard to decide. You want to be a women's professional soccer player because the money isn't there for it either.
No.
These things have to change. They've changed in England. The English national team is one of the best in the world. See? They've changed in Spain.
They did.
Atletico Madrid just had the largest attendance for a women's professional match in the world. Spain had never invested in the women's game before. It's changed in Costa Rica. Saprissa just had a huge attendance for a women's game in
Italy?
Costa Rica.
Juventus has a women's team. Roma,
Argentina.
Roma live streams all of their women's games on Twitter. They're putting their product out there. They have their players speaking English, even though it's an Italian team, online because they know that's how they reach. That's how you reach the
It's
audience.
easier to watch Roma's women than an NWSL match.
Yes.
Yes.
That should not be the case.
No.
You do
better.
all those things, you change all that, then the U.S. women's national team can catch up in a cycle or two.
It's a change of perspective, though. Like, if we want to look back onto this and, like, what the core of it is, for some reason, men's soccer is still more valuable and more lucrative for companies, for sponsorships. It doesn't matter. They see the men and they say, we're going to pay for the men.
Yep.
That's the problem. That's the problem in regards to why the U.S. Soccer Federation is still not giving women equal pay. However, how many World Cups have we won, and how many have the men won? This is the problem, because it happens with every single sport that is played in America. Women are regarded as lesser than, even though they may have more titles. It's the problem that you have, and it's gonna take time to adjust the perspective from female fans, honestly, because that's also part of the problem.
Right.
Female fans, male fans, corporations, backers, funders, whoever it be, there needs to be a change in perspective to think that women are just as valuable and can put an even better, if not equal, product out there.
Treat it as a sport.
Well, it's pretty
simple.
damn sad that you have to have a corporation come in and say, "Hey, ladies, we're going to equal the payout for you." Not even your own federation, a corporation is going to
That's
come
the
and do
part
it.
that's the issue for me. And this is something I've seen a lot of people get bent out of shape about this whole argument, saying, well, the men's game draws more, the men's game, blah, blah, blah. There's some things in this argument that there is no justification for. And we went through this on the Women's Soccer Weekly podcast. There's no reason why the win bonus for the men in a friendly is $17,000, and the win bonus for the women in a friendly is $1,500.
That's ridiculous.
You don't
There's
win
no
anything.
justifiable reason for that.
The men don't win anything.
There's no justifiable reason why the roster bonus to make the World Cup is less. There's no justifiable reason for these things.
No, you're absolutely right. And it just kind of makes it funny because Nick was literally yelling, they don't win anything, which in the U.S. Soccer Federation is like, great, we don't have to pay the women $17,000 because they keep winning. But that is honestly the problem. And I talk about this from a perspective because I know budgets of commercials, and I know budgets of events, and I know budgets of what, soccer federations or major sporting companies will pay to throw an event or make a commercial, and it's less money than the money they are refusing to give to women.
Yep.
It makes no sense.
Look, as long as we live in this world where people say on one hand, it pays to be a winner, but we're not going to pay these winners.
Because they're a woman.
It's reality. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not going to pay you as much because you're a woman, but you keep winning. Don't
But we're
talk.
still not
We
gonna
still
pay you.
won't pay you.
Yeah. We're still not going to pay you. Just think about that for a minute, and yet we sit there and keep wringing our hands. Oh, when's the U.S. going to win anything? They keep winning, and you're not investing. And then we say, well, why can't they keep up? What's the problem here? Why can't we keep up?
Why
You're
are
not
the
investing.
women not producing? Or why are they falling behind? Or why are they considered not the leaders in the run up to the World Cup anymore? Well, I'm sorry, you don't pay them accordingly.
Hey, look, here's the thing, though. In other countries, when you compare the Premier League to the Women's Super League in England, yes, there's a big difference between attendance. That happens. There's a big difference between ratings. All that's fine. In the United States, that's not the case. The attendances are very similar. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't see in the last CBA, for a match, for a friendly that the U.S. men's national team or the U.S. women's national team plays, on the men's side, players get a bonus of $1.50 per ticket sold. On the women's side, it's $1.20. Why? That's the stuff that you want to talk about.
It's not even even.
Do you want to talk about FIFA prize money? Yes, on the men's World Cup and the women's World Cup, there's differences. Absolutely, that's the case. That's what it is. But there's certain things in this that are just, you cannot argue that it should be that way. You can't.
You and I literally sat on an interview for Women's Soccer Weekly for an hour and a half going through the entire pay difference between men and women, and we kept sitting there being like, well, I don't understand why there's a difference here.
Yeah, I mean,
it makes no sense.
If the totals are different, so okay, 2018, and we'll talk about that. 2018 for the men, the average attendance was 24,163 for the friendlies they played. Total attendance 169,141. For the women, they drew an average of 14,064, but they played a whole lot more games, and the total attendance was 253,151.
Facts.
So they
That's more
drew
butts and seats.
more.
Facts.
They should be making more money. They probably was a wash, even though they drew almost 100,000 more.
20 cents on the
It's
dollar
stuff
less.
that just it doesn't make any sense.
No.
You have to invest in it. You have to do it right. In the United States, you have an opportunity. CBS just picked up the WNBA and is going to put the WNBA in prime time. That's a big change.
There we go.
The NWSL has to
Because
get
women
there.
are ballers. Gosh,
Yes.
I honestly like watching the WNBA more than I like watching the NBA. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that's fair enough.
I like both. I love watching the NWSL just like I love watching MLS and the USL Championship.
Just think what would
and all of
happen
it.
if they promoted it and where you could find it on a regular basis.
Well,
It'd be amazing.
And U.S. soccer, if you could do something outside of charging fans $80 for
That
a
too.
ticket,
There's also
that
that.
too.
I mean, let's start with that. We got a clapper in the back. He's with us too. Yeah, there's no reason in the world that the U.S. men's national team tickets should cost what they cost. They should cost $10. Get the people in, put the butts in seats, and build your brand. Don't sit there and try to say, "Well, guys, we have to charge $80 because we're putting such a superior product on the field." No, you're not.
Fill
You're
up the
putting
building, then you
clownish
can charge
product on
better
the field.
prices.
Own it.
Fill up the building first.
Fill up the building. Okay, let's go to some.
More
questions. We have
questions.
If you guys have questions, you make a donation. You
Yeah.
can throw a couple bucks in the
Send
jar
me some,
here. It's for
send
the
me
kids.
some weird
It's for the kids.
questions, guys.
Ask
I like
questions.
weird questions.
Kelly wants weird questions, so get on it, people.
It can be $1, $2,
So
doesn't
put in
matter.
a
I want
lot
all
of
the
money
weird
to
questions.
ask
For the
Kelly
kids.
a weird question.
Please.
All right, here's a question.
Okay.
This is an Atlanta United question.
Okay.
Who is the one player that should be in our starting 11 but isn't, and who should they replace?
Okay, does this qualify for players who are not injured at the
Yeah,
moment
see.
or not at 100%?
You can take it either way you want.
That's like yelling Freebird at a concert, just yelling Messi.
Honestly, Gallagher.
Okay, at right back.
Yeah. I think
with
if
that.
you're going to not start Franco Escobar, and God, I love Parky, man is incredibly intelligent on the ball. He also gets burned quite a bit. And I, as much as he has played and as much as he has done right back in Europe, I still don't think he is at the level to be producing efficiently for a right back for this system we're playing in the final third. I don't. So
That's fine.
in my opinion, if we're not looking at things like Franco Escobar being healthy, Miles Robinson, not Miles Robinson, but Mickey Ambrose being healthy, George Bello being healthy, if we're not looking at that, I think we need to give Gallagher a shot.
Okay, John.
That's
what about
my
you?
opinion.
Kelly stole my answer.
Okay, you got to come up with another one. Think fast.
No.
I'll
right, Nick.
buy you some time. I'll say Andrew Carlton because the model.
But who does he replace?
I would say that. Yeah,
That's hard.
it is hard.
Assuming Bello's healthy, Bello for Shea.
I'm ready for everyone's hate mail.
Go ahead.
You say
Don't you
Tito.
say it. Don't you say it.
Gressel. Drop Gressel.
Right
saying
now.
it right
Did
now.
you just say you would take out Gressel and
Yeah.
put Carlton in?
Yeah. And the reason being is that
I'm going to back up my chair about 3 feet.
Nick's not necessarily wrong.
all right. And the reason being is that this whole thing is predicated on developing youth, and we have to start sometime, and we have to start playing people. What is going on with our audio? I don't know. All right. So if we don't play the youth, we can't develop the youth. Then we can't sell the youth. Because you have to start putting money in the coffers. And that's the Ajax way. The Ajax way is you get the young players, you put them out there, you let them make mistakes, and then when the time is right, you sell them for an insane profit. We see what's happening now where European teams are coming over and they're poaching our youth. Make money doing it. Stop putting your heads in the sand and saying, well, we can't play them because we won't be as competitive. You're losing money. Understand who you are as a league, understand who you are as a team. Play the youth, sell them.
All right, I'll drop this one into the mix. I don't know if the player you have that you need to put in the starting lineup is on the roster because I think you need a number 6 to do what Frank de Boer wants to do in the system. And right now, I think the best option is Jeff Lorenowitz starting on a regular basis as a defensive midfielder.
And you don't want that.
No, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think
And I'm not saying it's a bad
I
thing.
think you'd
I'm
be
just
better
thinking
off
of the
than where you are.
years. I'm just thinking
Long term, yeah.
long term, it's not going to work.
Oh, okay, then long term, your answer to this question
It's Will
is
Vint, isn't it?
well. I don't know if he's necessarily a 6 yet.
What about Asadio?
Could be. He's the one who could be. There's still too many questions about Vint and Asayadu, but you don't have the 6 that can sit and protect. Remedi is more of an 8 or plays in a combination in 2 holding. The way that I think you want this to look is 1 holding midfielder, 2 more attacking central midfielders. You'd like to have Barco and Nagby going forward. You need somebody to sit behind them and just be able to defend. You need that if you want to get the outside backs, if you want to get Escobar back in, if you want to get Gallagher, Bello, to let them go forward, you have to have that protection. And the thing that I keep bringing up is Tata Martino realized in 2017 that playing a 4-man back line was too risky. That's why he went to 3 in the back. He got away from it a little bit in 2018, but what did he do when he needed to win the playoffs? He went to 3 in the back, and he sat and defended. When you go to 4, if you don't have the right 6 in front of them, you're going to get exposed and you're going to give up the goals that we've seen this season. I think if you're going to go out into the market this summer in the transfer window, you're going out to get a 6 who's come up in the Ajax system and knows exactly what you want here. And there's some guys out there who would be a fit.
You're looking for something for a year or 2 from a 6, knowing what you've got coming up in the pipeline.
If it's me, I would sign a guy who's 30 or 31 years old and get a couple years out of him, and then you have a Seydou and Vent fighting it out for that spot. And maybe Remedi, but Remedi's got to kind of change the way he plays a little bit to sit more and not chase everything.
Honestly, though, I feel like if we're looking at Remedi like that, I don't necessarily... from my love of Remedi, don't want him to sit like that. I feel like Remedi has a great vision for passing, just
then
like
you can't play
Nagby
him
does.
as the 6.
Yeah.
You can't play him as the 6 then. Because
not at all.
you create this space between the back line and your midfield, and it's way too spread out, and you're going to get exposed that way when you have that turnover.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I wouldn't want him as a 6. I think he's got too much vision, honestly, and I wouldn't want him to sit back like that. I mean, Laurent Witz is a key. He knows when to sit. He reads the game just as well as Parky does. So you need another him, but we don't have that right now. From what I can see, I don't think we have that right now.
No, you don't right now.
All right, so...
Now, you got handed a piece of paper? How did you get handed a piece of paper?
I got handed a piece of paper.
And bypassed the process.
This guy got handed a piece of paper. Kelly.
This guy.
We got to make some room. Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me at the Kelly Francis on
Kelly
all
Francis.
the social medias.
Yeah.
That's how
Kelly
I pitch
Francis.
it. It's just the Kelly Francis.
And she's also one of the queens of the South.
I am a queen of the South.
Hashtag QOTS.
Yes, me and Jessica are the queens of the South. We come to you bi-weekly just so you guys can have a break from all the awesomeness in between. And you can find us on Unreal. I mean, I do stuff with Jay weekly. I do stuff with Jess bi-weekly.
And you
we
got
do stuff
Ricky
all the
Bevington
time.
to cuss.
And we got Ricky Bevington with GPEB to cuss. I don't think you guys understand.
Nice.
That girl/woman/ lovely human being has been on broadcast media for almost 20 years?
Yep. NPR folks don't generally cuss.
You have to force them.
That's a unicorn.
You have to get under their skin and be like, this is comfortable. You like us. We're a family. And she did. And she finally cussed. And it was beautiful and the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
If you have not listened to the Queens of the South and Unrelegated, I promise you it is 100% worth the listen. Tune into these ladies. It's 100% awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for
and
joining
Women's
us.
Soccer
We
Weekly on the
appreciate it.
SDH Network.
Yes.
Thank you,
I'm going to go finish drinking my champagne by myself.
Go drink a champagne. Okay, so
Jay, did your battery finally die?
going on social media, you will always see these fantastic posters that appear. Smokin' Joe, live at the Benz. You'll see Greg Garza live at the Benz. Ladies and gentlemen, they are done by Iron Tooth Design, and they are absolutely amazing. And I am told, I have been handed a piece of paper that says that Iron Tooth is in the building. This is accurate.
Wow. The man himself.
This is accurate.
And he comes in wearing a Ric Flair t-shirt because he's a boss.
Woo.
How's it going?
It's going quite well,
That's
sir.
strong.
How are you?
That is strong.
Thank you.
So for those of us who only know you as Iron Tooth, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm also known as Chris. I'm originally from Liverpool, but I live and work in Atlanta now. I've been here like 4 years.
Okay, so the poster that I love personally, the Smokin' Joe live at the
Yes.
at the Benz. what was the idea that came to you about this, where you said, you know what, I want to structure this as sort of a concert poster and have this guy front and center? How did that come to be?
So originally, it came more from a wrestling background, and the old luchador wrestling posters and boxing posters. And I remember seeing him do the pose with the whole flames and stuff, and I'm like, that should be a poster. So I actually made it as a joke, and then everyone was like, can I buy this? And I'm like, I guess we can try and work that out. And yeah, and it took off from there.
So how many of these have you done now?
Wow, I think we're up to 10, 11 players. Yeah, almost got like a full 11 formation going on now with the team. I've got Joseph, Miggy, Tito, Gressel, Guzan, Garza, Jeff, Mikey, Darlington, LGB, so 10.
There we go.
Who's on the list to do next?
So we did a vote the other day, and Miles Robinson won hands down, so Miles Robinson will be debuted next week, hopefully.
So we have in our possession right here, please, Jess, if you would, an autographed Greg Garza live at the Benz.
You got about 30 minutes to get your raffle tickets.
So we keep adding to this list. So if you are not one of the wonderful members who have chucked in some little bit of cash to get one of those raffle tickets, by all means do so, because we have fantastic merchandise for you. Outside of the posters, what's next? Do we have T-shirts? Do we have scarves? Do we have hats? What's coming down the pipe?
Well, I also do a podcast about like design, sports stuff, which I record with Larry Luke, some of you might know. So we've got that coming up. I'm actually getting back into painting now, so you may see some oil paintings of some players on canvas very soon.
Dig it.
Just getting back into my old roots of painting again.
Is Liverpool going to botch this?
What's that?
Is Liverpool going to botch this?
Are they going to choke, as we would say? Are they going to choke?
Are they going to slip up?
It could be worse. We could be Chelsea and just choke all the time. But at the moment, I'm just taking it game by game. I feel slightly sick every match we play, but just keeping it calm and cool with Van Dijk at the back. I'm hoping for good things. So the last time they won, I was 5 years old, so I would love a new Premier League.
There seems to be something different about this Liverpool team, though. The energy, the belief. The Klopp has them playing at a level which I have not seen them play at before. I will say that, the fists are about to start going, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that Mo's diving has gotten a little out of hand, but outside of that,
the Cardiff game was excessive.
But
this weekend wasn't, though. That was a penalty. I mean, he had to go down to get the call.
There were two hands on his back.
Yeah, I mean,
if
he's
you
being
stay
wrestled
up as a coach, I'm pissed at you for not going down. There's being an honest player, and there's playing to the contact.
Yes.
And I think you have to teach your players, even when I'm coaching kids, you have to say, look, if you feel contact to the extent that it's a foul, don't carry on and end up getting a goal kick given.
So that one definitely will give him the out there, but most other ones, he's pretty bad with the diving.
Yeah, he's excessive. But also, I sometimes see that with Barco. Like, he'll bring the ball to the edge of the box and looking for the dive.
Barco plays to the foul constantly, and what I've been impressed with towards he's got a lot better now at actually releasing the ball finally. Yeah. I think he was just used to a softer style of play and being given those fouls.
Well, I don't know. You need to watch some Argentine Superliga if you talk about a soft style of play. But I think the tackling is different. I think the line is a little different. And I think a lot of it, and you see it with players who come to MLS, you're trying to figure out where that line is for the referees. And it's very inconsistent with the referees in this league. And I think he's trying to get calls.
I took a dive in a media game. I'm teaching my 9-year-old son how to dive properly. You have to start early. It's one of the dark arts. You must accept the dark arts for what they are. If I'm playing striker and I feel the barometric pressure change around me, I'm going to the ground like I've been shot 6 times over, and I don't care because I'm going to get the goal as a result.
I was intrigued when Miggy played his first game for Newcastle and came on. So if you remember, he got crunched about 10 minutes in. I'm like, welcome to the Premier League, because that's going to happen to you. Yeah. There will be contact.
Oh, particularly in the Premier League, it's going to be absolutely battered. And I think we all knew that was going to be something that was a struggle for him to get used to, you know.
He's adjusted well, though, I think, so far.
Yeah.
I've been impressed.
So, how can I get a hold? Because I am I missed the Smokin' Joe. Okay. My favorite boxer is Joe Frazier, Smokin' Joe Frazier, obviously. I feel terrible that I missed this. How can I get a hold of the next piece of artwork, though, so I don't miss the train again?
So I announced them all on social media. The next one will probably be unveiled next week on irontooth.co.uk. The site is based in America. It's just an old URL I use from England. There's this thing about me stealing taxes and all
Tax
this.
evasion.
I am paying a lot of tax on this work, don't worry. But yeah, it'll be online on irontooth.co.uk shop next week.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. You've given us this wonderful work right here that has been autographed.
And Nick,
retweeted
I
it.
was going to say that Chris has been a fantastic supporter of Soccer in the Streets since I've known him, since I've worked here.
Yes.
He has donated piece after piece after piece. He's helped us raise a significant amount of money. And if you really love his work and you're disappointed not to win Gaza's work today, be on the lookout because we may just have a Parky and we may just have a Jeff coming up in the near future.
I will say that the players are amazing like this. When I started doing this, I wasn't sure if they'd let me, but I've spoke to all the players about the posters, and they really love what I do, and they're happy to sign as many as they want for charity, and all they want is their own copy of their posters. I had Brad contact me and say, "Can I get a poster, please?" I'm like, "Of course, you're Brad Guzan. Of course you can have a poster."
Yes, you may, sir. Yes, you may. I always love anytime somebody who has talent, such as painting or drawing, because there's the amount of work that goes into it cannot be stated enough. And for you to take that work and say, you know what, for this charitable cause, here, take it, get some cash for it, and put it to work. I salute you, sir. You are a proper Englishman. Thank you so much for making that happen, because there are so many people out in the world who aren't doing that, and you are. So thank you very much.
No problem. You've always got to give it back, you know. That's what I've always
There we
worked,
go.
so.
Can we get a round of applause for a proper, right good gentleman?
Thank you.
The podcast, yes. So tell us again, how can we find the podcast?
Go to @Solids4 Stripes is our podcast. We're recording tomorrow night with a lovely guest. We're doing the female Women's World Cup jerseys, so Solids and Stripes.
Don't ask me how I
podcast.
feel about the fact they're branding female soccer differently.
It's okay. I understand. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. I appreciate it. Yep.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
You've got about 30 minutes to get raffle tickets bought if you want to win stuff. But I've got a trivia question for you. If you don't want to buy a ticket, you can actually win a raffle ticket.
Oh.
And it's going to be the first person who comes up right over here with the right answer.
Listen up.
All right.
You don't want to miss this.
There's 3 goalkeepers in Atlanta United history who have played less than 10 games. 3 goalkeepers who've appeared in less than 10 games. You got to come up and tell me, and you have to name all 3.
Run. Who knows the answer?
You know the 3
Go on,
who
go
played
on.
less than 10 games.
Just think about the game when the goalie got sent off.
No. We
Clues.
can't help
We
it.
have
I'm giving
contestant number
clues.
1.
We have contestant number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Contestant number 1 is making her way to the stage right now. We have people coming up to the stage. They're giving answers for those of you listening at home.
All right, 1 out of 3.
Yep.
Not going to give you the 1 because, I want to make this difficult. 3 goalkeepers who have appeared in single digits for Atlanta United.
Do we have a second contestant?
Who's going to give it a
He's
shot?
pensively looking. He's
Feeling
walking
good?
up now.
Feeling brave?
There's a little bit more bravado to his step.
Is that a hand injury from goalkeeping?
No, he's coming right up. Ladies and gentlemen, when he walked up, he was very pensive. And as he got closer to the table, he became
Woo!
more
We
confident.
have a
We got a winner.
We got a winner.
All right, raffle ticket for him. Jay, can you get him a raffle ticket? It was Kyle Rainish, who played twice. It was Alex Tambakis, who played once. And it was Paul Christensen, who played once last year.
Kind of like a half game, right? It wasn't even
Yeah,
a
he
whole
came
one.
on. Christensen's the weird one because he was on an emergency call-up because of an injury to Can and to Hildebrandt last year. And then Brad Guzan was
Got
sent off in the Kansas City game. And Christensen came in.
And the poor guy was he was still a teenager, right?
No, he was just out of college.
But he was...
Yeah, 22.
That's
That
gotta
was
be
his
pretty
first
nerve-wracking.
big game. Did all right, actually. Yeah, you thought he was going to start the Orlando game. McCann came back from injury the next week.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are at home right now, again, you can go on to where?
Visit the Soccer Streets Twitter account, so at Soccer Streets. There'll be a link there to the Nations Cup fundraising page where you can donate online and still get into this raffle.
What is this ATL Nations Cup you speak of?
You're putting me on the spot.
Uh-huh.
That's
Okay,
right.
the ATL Nations Cup is one of our 4 major fundraisers. It is taking place this weekend, Sunday the 28th, at Grady High School. We have 8 nations represented. We've got many of those amazing players out here today. And basically, they have all been competing, fundraising. Colombia is right now in the lead, number 1 position.
Oh,
Colombia.
Vamos, Colombia.
I may well be on that team. I might be a little bit biased.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Yawn.
But in short, we're going to compete off the field in terms of fundraising, but then the fun bit, we're going to compete on the field on the day, April 28th. Come out and support. And so far, we've raised $38,000.
That's awesome.
Which is a record, an absolute record for this tournament. So great job, every single player. $38,000 for the kids.
I'm just letting Team Belgium know that I have put in significant amounts of effort into getting in shape for this weekend. I've hit the elliptical 3 times. I've done about 4 reps of some quality weight, so I'm prepared, I feel, and the rest of the team for Belgium needs to get on my level.
So, Nick, how much will you donate to my page if I score goals on you per goal?
Where you're a goalkeeper.
I'm playing on the field.
I'll go $5 per goal.
Okay, you heard that here. He will donate $5 per goal every time I score on the Belgium team on Sunday.
$5. There we go. Is there a mercy rule in this? So, like, if we get
There
a
should
10,
be.
does it shut down?
There might be for the Belgian team.
Okay, our next guest coming up to the microphone is somebody who I am extraordinarily jealous of because he mastered the art of video editing in about 3 weeks. And I'm still paying on student debt on my video editing degree until I'm about 75. And the model of physical fitness and well-being, Mr. Jay Riddle.
Woo!
Hola. ¿Cómo está?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Así, así.
How'd that paintball really go, Jay?
Yeah, tell us the truth.
Well, it was funny. I have a habit of inviting myself to things, especially if it's fellow podcasts, right? So,
Yeah, of course.
So they tweeted out Siempre United.
It's on
that,
brand.
That they were going to go, play paintball, and I said, "Hey, I should come." And they said,
Nice.
Probably, well, you can't say no, right? I invited myself. That's how it works. So we met up, and it's a place near the old Brave Stadium, and it's what they didn't know is that I used to play in amateur paintball tournaments when I was younger.
Whoa.
When I was physically fit.
That's a trivia question about Jay Riddle right there.
I had like $2,500 in the gun and equipment and all that sort of stuff.
Wow.
But I hadn't played in a long, long time, so I kind of just kept it low key. But it's just like riding a bike. After that first game, we just played with each other because there was so many other people there.
Right.
Hold on.
Ayo.
But the last game,
Wait,
we played in separate teams, and Team J dominated.
Hold on. So you have everyone else in these rental guns.
No, I didn't bring a gun. I'm saying in the past I had.
Back in the day,
I'm
he
talking
had the
about-
fancy gun.
That gun doesn't exist anymore.
That gun
No,
does not
no.
exist.
I don't have
Okay.
any of that equipment. I'm married now. I don't have time to.
His wife
invest
doesn't let him
$2,500
paintball
in
anymore.
Paintball guns? Kidding me? That's sacrifices. Yeah. So anyways, at the end, I think I got hit twice the entire day. We played like 4.5 hours. So pretty good.
Evasive maneuvers? I mean, what are you doing? How are you good at this?
A lot of it's patience. It's like I call it patient aggression. So basically, you have to keep moving forward.
Bit of an
You have,
oxymoron.
it's kind of like a mid press. You just like some
The
guys will
mid-block?
Yeah, some guys will go full Red Bulls and high press.
Yeah.
And they just get wiped out immediately. Then you have the people that try to sit back and bunker. I will wipe them out eventually because
Okay.
I'll start picking them off. But you have to go because a lot of times if you push forward into the midfield, and as long as there's enough activity going on around you, eventually somebody will get hit that did see you. They forget you're there, but then you move forward again. So it's just
So you're
it's
Giovanni
tactics.
Savarese
It's about
of
savvy
paintball.
tactics. It's not about athleticism.
Fair enough.
Jay, is
At all.
paintball a sport?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a great sport.
Yes, it is because
You
if
capture
you-
the flag. You have referees.
Yeah.
Referees?
Like they have to be referees on the field. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Is there VAR in paintball?
I don't know.
what people
I
don't
don't know.
realize is that when you are shooting for accuracy, breathing is everything. And so you have to be able to gauge how much physical exertion you do, along with how you can do.
I'm just saying,
breathing
I saw a lot of
control and
I saw a
accurately
lot
employ
of spray and pray from Siempre guys. A lot of
wow.
Spray and pray. Excuse me.
Calling out their paintball techniques.
I hope we're talking about paintball.
So, Siempre, if you're in the car on the way home right now, turn around and come on back because we have.
No, but honestly, the guys were great.
options.
The great thing about that day, to be straightforward, is we didn't talk about soccer the entire day, and it was amazing. We just had a great time with each other. We're thinking of maybe doing something. Maybe we could do every month or every couple months. Maybe bring in some of the other folks, the other podcast folks, because we can get a big group there. We can get our own field.
Hell no.
We
So
can reserve our own
Podcast
field.
Wars is a thing.
Yeah, we can make it a real thing, a friendly thing. You know, it's a lot of fun.
Out of hand.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah.
I care about my face too much.
No, you wear a mask, Jessica.
But I've seen like horror stories where it's like hit up underneath your chin and stuff.
There's no such thing as what?
Doesn't
What do they
happen, Jess. Doesn't happen.
The
Jess.
paintballs
Doesn't
explode
happen.
when they hit you. They don't ricochet.
My
Yeah.
dad told me I couldn't go to paintball when I was little.
But
it
he
was
put
too
you in when you
dangerous.
had a concussion.
You are a grown-ass woman now, and you can do whatever you want. You
Look,
can
my
A
dad,
little bit of
unless it
hypocrisy.
was soccer,
Yeah.
I was not allowed to do it.
What,
There
you
was
were-
a helmet on a bicycle.
What, you don't remember what just happened? Get back in there. But no paintball for you.
The fatherly Andrew Charman there. Thanks, Dad. I do love you, Dad.
We're just throwing him under the bus here. So he's not even here to defend himself.
So Jay, the videos that you have been doing lately with where you have the preview videos that are the
Oh, yeah, actually, speaking of that, Mike, let's get Mike back up
Yeah.
here, too, so we can talk about this. Because
Jessica's going to continue to do the raffle rounds. Get
Yeah,
the raffle
this-
tickets from Jessica.
this
I've
was
been
a
kicked off.
crazy idea, and we hoped that Jay would be crazy enough to join in, and he was. If you haven't seen him on Unrelegated, usually the day or 2 days before every match, Jay's putting out a video voiced by WCW legend Tony Schiavone about the Atlanta United match, and that's our intro on 92.9 The Game.
Yeah.
Jay, when you created the template for it, what was your inspiration?
No sleep.
Yeah, we talked about it. You had a template like in 16 hours and
Yeah.
didn't sleep to do it. You're
I
insane.
literally, all the ideas came to me while I was driving, and I got home like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock that night, and I was afraid if I went to sleep, they would all just evaporate. So I just stayed up all night and made a lot of... there was a lot of like laptop crashing and After Effects. Like I was blowing my computer up making that thing because there's just so many things going on, and I don't really have a laptop that was created for video editing, so I have to do my best. But yeah, that's the first video where I made my own graphics, like the little soccer players and stuff. Like, you know, a lot of times I was editing video that was already video that was created by MLS or the team, or repackaging it, and I would add some effects or text effects or like, you know, flames around the screen with Tito Villalba and all that sort of stuff. But I, up until recently, had never made my own. So this was different for me. This was a big challenge. So when you guys gave this to me, I was nervous because I said, yeah, I'll do this. But I was also thinking, how the hell am I going to do this? So luckily it came out great, and it's something that, you know, I can reuse and we can do it throughout the course of the season. I know it got a little crazy there during CCL and we missed one match, but for the foreseeable future, we should be able to get that thing out the day before every match as sort of a preview.
The funny thing was, the first one was when we were in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And I think you pushed it out right after we landed in Costa Rica. We chartered.
That's right.
And Jason and I have our phones out. We're watching. We're like, oh, perfect. This is exactly what we had in mind. We were trying to brainstorm it in John Nelson's living room, trying to frantically pull up Tony Schiavone videos from WCW. And it just came together so perfectly. So what do we do on the plane? We start showing everyone. And that was the cool thing to me.
Yeah.
What Matt Moore saw that was like, we're retweeting this.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
The club loves it. I think the supporters have gotten a lot out of it. And we have a special thing or two up our sleeve for when an Orlando match is coming.
Yeah,
Maybe when
you're
a Red
looking at the
Bulls
script
match is
writers.
coming.
Everything that Tony Schiavone is reading is there's a script that has to be
I
written.
just have an idea which players to go with. Mike has learned how to write for Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
That's what's cool.
Yeah. It takes a team. I mean, that's the thing. Like, this video is these short little 30-second videos. There is a team that has to work together to put all this stuff together.
It's funny. I mean, really. Now, that's a 30-second element that we tweet and we have on our broadcast.
Right.
We probably put more work into that 30-second element than we do during the 2-hour run of play.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
You got to write a script that could take a half hour.
You did a brilliant job with it,
Yeah.
Jay. You did an awesome job. It's exactly what we had in mind.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. It's fun to do stuff like this. As I tell people, a year ago, I didn't know how to even edit audio. I didn't know how to. I didn't have a mixer. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff.
When we started doing it, people tweeted at us, "That sounds like Tony Schiavone."
That's my favorite. That's my favorite is when you go, "That is Tony," and they're like, "Oh."
That's how we do it here in Atlanta. We use Tony Schiavone.
Right. So a question was brought up on Twitter earlier today that I think you saw, where some of the supporters groups, and we keep it 100 on soccer over there, some of the supporters groups were chanting about Frank de Boer out.
Yeah, let's phrase this correctly. Let's be careful.
Okay.
Hey, let's be careful. Kelly, you had your microphone. My turn. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
We get a little heated and unrelegated.
So let's
I'm kidding.
if the story's not
no,
right,
I want to hear
let's
what
set it
Kelly was.
straight.
I want to hear what Kelly was yelling though.
Hold on, andiamo.
I was literally there
Don't knock the
until.
Greg
Where
Larson.
were you
Don't
there?
knock the
What
Greg
is
I'm
there?
knocking, I'm knocking stuff over.
What was-
So I was literally there until the final whistle blew, and then I was still standing in the supporter section.
Okay.
I never heard any chanting going on about Frank de Boer out.
Yeah.
So I don't know
How
if
far were you from the capo stand?
I maybe 7 rows back.
Okay, so for the audience listening, there was a tweet where someone had said that they heard either a capo or someone in the supporters section leading a De Boer out chant. Now, I don't know; it hasn't been corroborated by maybe. I think one other person on Twitter said they may have heard it, but regardless, it spurred a conversation, and I'll throw his name out there. Trains had a follow up and said, to this point, here are pictures of empty seats at the 89th minute when Joseph Martinez was about to kick his penalty kick.
There was a big rush to the exit after the second goal.
And he
No
said,
doubt.
why isn't this being addressed? We always talk about and puff each other up when we have great attendance numbers. Why are we not addressing this when everybody's leading? And it's an uncomfortable truth. We have a huge fan base, which means we're going to have a larger percentage or larger quantity. I don't know if percentage-wise it's going to be any different than any other fan base, but if you maximize that, right, to quantity, we're going to have more casual fans. Yeah. So that means in situations in downtown Atlanta, when they're down, especially when morale is low, and people even said on the, it's not just on the broadcast. I talked to people. I wasn't there, but I was dealing with some family stuff. But I was listening to the broadcast. You could tell a noticeable difference. And sometimes it depends on how it's mic'd up and stuff like that. So you don't take too much stock into it. But other people said at the game, no, it was noticeable that it was a little low. And I mean, this is going to happen. I've seen it at Barcelona games. I've seen it at Real Madrid games. It's not, just MLS or just Atlanta United. But I think it's something that the coaches and the players are even addressing after the game. Right?
Yeah, and Saturday was tricky. It's a holiday weekend.
It's also an afternoon game.
It's an afternoon game. The weather was lousy, which probably cut into.
Let's get all the
tailgating.
excuses out in front.
Well, the reasons.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
I feel like on the radio the last couple of weeks, all I've been saying is, no, they're not excuses. They're reasons. No, these are reasons. Saturday was tricky. I think Saturday was an outlier, but it was noticeable. It absolutely was noticeable. When you concede a goal in the 6th minute, that will take the starch out of the building. The fact that this has been addressed more than once by players in media sessions is notable.
Yeah.
And I think it's important. I think it has been noticed to the degree now where appeals are being made for more. And maybe we have taken for granted over the last 2.5 years exactly what we are getting in terms of atmosphere being generated by the fans and the supporters. And you're right, there are a lot of casuals. I think also winning the cup has introduced a whole new group of people into Mercedes-Benz Stadium this year. I can tell you anecdotally.
Oh, we're still getting
I've heard
tons of
from
new fans.
Dozens, if not hundreds of people whose first soccer match ever was that Cincinnati home match in March. So maybe it was the increase in ticket prices that led some people to drop out, others to come in. But it has been a different vibe this year, no doubt about it.
Okay, but we have proven now that the narrative is false, correct? That there was not Frank DeBoer out massive.
No,
I
we
didn't
haven't.
hear it.
We haven't proven anything.
Yeah,
I think if there are people saying that they heard it, I believe them. But
Okay.
at the same time, it sounds like it may have been. Yeah.
Hold on.
We have a supporter here that was. You were in the supporter section.
I was in row 2.
Row 2.
101. I did not hear a capo or no one else say anything. But as for the fans that left early, don't renew your season tickets because I grew up an Eagles fan. We sat over 50 years with no Super Bowl. You win your first championship in 2 years, and then you acting that frickle. Get out of here.
Yeah, and I think some season ticket holders
Why
feel
does-
that way. You know who really feels that way are people that have been waiting in line for 2 years for season tickets. When they see people getting up, they're like, "Ooh, this might be an opportunity. Maybe they'll give up their season tickets so we can get in there." Because there are plenty of fans waiting to take those seats. If they are, in fact, season ticket holders and not resale people that bought it on the market, hey, I'm not worried about it because if they give up their season ticket seats, we have, 20,000 people in queue that are going to come in and sit in those seats.
Here's the thing: is that it's not only about Atlanta United because we have Nations Cup coming up, right? We have Nations Cup this coming weekend, and Jess was over here talking some trash about the Columbia team, saying that they were by far and away the best fundraisers, the most talent.
Have you
the best
seen who's
dressed,
on that team? It's pretty talented.
The best of all times. I'm letting everybody know right now that there are more teams than just Columbia at the Nations Cup tournament.
It's just Colombia.
So
I thought you're French.
Bart
It's
is
her
here.
accent when she says Colombia.
Bart
right?
is here. If I may have the
Colombia.
floor, ladies and gentlemen. Bart is here representing Team USA. USA. 1980s wrestling. Bart, tell us, how is your team preparing to take on the onslaught of the Colombians?
Well, I think we had the most players in attendance here tonight, so I think we're preparing
There we
fairly
go.
well.
Yes. That's right.
We are, to be quite honest, we're a lot of people who love soccer and have enjoyed so much having Atlanta United, but we, for the most part, are a bunch of people who enjoy the U.S. men's national team and women's national teams. So we're, in terms of preparing, we have watched a lot of soccer in our lifetime.
Very good.
Most of us have played soccer at some point in our lifetime.
Okay.
Most of us may or may not need a knee brace on Sunday, maybe 2.
That's a huge, massive thing in your favor.
But, we are ready. We have had a fun time trying to drum up support for this tournament and fundraising. A lot of us have a huge network of people who may not understand soccer, but understand the point of trying to raise money for kids who need an outlet. Yep. And they've responded really well. And so all of us on our team, most of us have secured a fairly large donation.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
I speak from experience. I've been the one that's been on Bart's sort of back constantly. That is my job, to nag and raise money, but it's for a good cause.
You've done a great job.
I get away with it, but I have been...
Right. Yes.
But I'll be honest, it's been so easy with captains like Bart, there is a guy called Insha back there for the Argentinian team. They've been sending out emails to their teams, motivating their players, and they've made it so easy for me. And the results have shown. Like I said earlier, we're up to 38,000. That doesn't include all that money in the pot. It doesn't include money on the day. And that is the best Nations Cup we have ever had in 4 years of the tournament. So it's been brilliant. USA's broken every record they've had, and they've still got more money to come.
Absolutely.
And the most important thing, though, is people are understanding the reason why we're doing this tournament. At the end of the day, if you want to go play just for the soccer, you may as well go to Silverbacks. You may as well go play in the league. But the reason for this tournament is to raise money for this fantastic cause. And this cause is making sure that every child, no matter where they're from, gets access to the game. And not only the game as in soccer, but all of the skills that soccer provides. You've got leadership, you've got teamwork, you've got, understanding rules, helping with your behavior, learning to work with each other, learning to mix with different people you wouldn't usually get to. And for that reason, this tournament is so important on more levels than just competing on the field. And yes, everyone wants to win. We're all competitive. I want to score on Nick plenty. I want to take him on. I am proud
5'5", over 30 wingback with Sicilian blood. I will state for the record that it is a matter of life and death for me to ensure that she does not score. I will flop. I will throw myself on the ground. I will launch myself with tremendous
Cheat for the kids.
gravity-defying abilities because that is what winners do.
Flop for the kids.
There is a reason that I sign up for this. There's a reason why Justin and I have been in constant contact all before this because I want to win, baby. And that's what Sicilians do. We've done it since minute one, and I will do it. She won't score a thing.
And
I
I'll
feel like the
tell
announcer right now between the two boxers before they get in the ring.
I'm hearing that she's going to score a hat trick on him, but
Yeah, it's pretty much a hat trick. Pretty much guaranteed. a hat trick.
Just tell Craig Feely to watch out. I know
Yeah.
he's your goalkeeper, and we've played a lot against each other. I met Craig when I stepped on his ribs and gave him a bruise in a Sons of Pitchers
my
League.
goodness.
he probably appreciated that, and he still talks about that to this day. He loves a good
might
war
not need
story.
to
He's
flop.
a true goalkeeper, though. Yeah.
I suddenly regret talking trash to this woman right here. It's talking about stomping
But
rib
in
cages.
all seriousness, every single person in this room that is playing in the tournament, great job fundraising, and please wear your shin guards on Sunday so you can avoid Nick and Kelly's studs up challenges.
Because some of us are playing the game a bit more violently than others.
Listen, we're just
nudge,
all
nudge.
out there to have fun and raise money for kids, right? That's what we're here for.
Bart has been listening to my emails. Bart has been.
We have a question here. Someone has paid good money to ask a question. I have come to realize this question is directed to me, so I will answer it. Nick, who scored the fastest goal in Serie A? Someone's trying to test my mettle. Challenge accepted. It was Paolo Paggi. He scored in 8 seconds after kickoff, and I believe it was either with Piacenza or Bari. I will have to get back to you on the team. Yes, Julian Gaffigan, your challenge has been met, madam.
I think you should have to give more money when your challenge is overcome like that.
Yeah.
So another $5-10.
I think you're onto something for future versions
there
of
we
this
go.
event.
There we go.
Level up.
Do better.
So the question is, we have clearly a great wealth of talent up here, soccer playing talent. We have an exceptional paintballing talent here, which is mind-bending to me. But I will say, who...
We got one more question, probably.
We have one question? We do have... Okay, so as much as I would like to continue with this, let's go ahead and get to this last question right here.
Last chance for raffle tickets.
And this is the last chance for raffle tickets because we're shutting down shop.
Oh.
Do you think, panel, that Pity Martinez has shown us his fullest potential? Bart, I start with you.
The short answer is no, and clearly he hasn't been on the field long enough, consistently long enough to really show that. He's shown really great bright spots. I mean, that Monterrey game at home was fantastic, and he really had a great showing. He showed not only what he can create individually, but also what he can create with other players on the field. But after that, we haven't really seen much of him, and that's been the disappointing part. I think fitness is definitely the question for him, but he's also adapting to a new country, a new life, a new everything. And I'm not super concerned about PT because I don't think he is the end-all, be-all of any of our issues. But I think if we want to be at our best this season, then he has to be on the field performing at close to his best, and he'll get there. He hasn't shown it yet, but that's not necessarily something that you can hold him accountable for. He just hasn't been on the field as much.
Can I make a request of the supporter section? Can we please learn the Pity Martinez song and sing it really loudly for us?
Que loco está.
El Pity Martinez, que loco que está.
We have
Sing
to figure
the
out who
song
is
for the man. Make him feel at home.
We need to figure out who replaces the Boca Juniors fans in that. We need to think of a name.
You can leave the line about Boca out. That we might want to leave that one out. That's okay.
For
I think
health and
Orlando
safety, we're
could
gonna let the
substitute
Boca-
well
I'm
for
fine
it.
if we want to put Orlando in that spot.
Okay. So Jason, the question
Yes.
to you, sir.
No, he hasn't. I think it's understandable, honestly, when you look at the situation. The guy didn't have an off season. The guy went through a pretty tumultuous run with River Plate and Copa Libertadores. I think he is getting fit. I think he's getting comfortable with this group. And I think these games in May, where you're going to have just a lot of matches in a short period of time, you're going to start to see the best of Pity Martinez. You're going to start to see how special he is. This is a guy who a lot of people thought that he would come in and replace Miguel Almiron like for like. He's not the same player. He's not at all that same player. Pity Martinez is one of a kind, to be honest. He's a very unique player, and I think you're starting to figure out how to use him. Hey, honestly, I think he is.
I think he is.
He came to River Plate, and it took him a while. I mean, he went to River Plate, one of the biggest clubs in South America, and he was getting booed and whistled by his own fans, and I think his car was vandalized at one point by his own fans. But he turned it around to where he became a legend, and they made a song for the guy. So I would love to see him get that type of affection here, and I think when he has that one special moment that we know he's capable of, you're going to see it.
Jay?
I mean, you hit all the highlights. I agree with everything that was said. I mean, what else can you say? The guy is in play, right?
Yep.
He needs time. De Boer said he's not even there yet, a week or two out. We saw him play for a little bit in Argentina. He was fine, He
was pretty good on Saturday, I thought.
And he comes out with energy when he comes off the bench. The last couple games, he looks like he's up for a fight. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. We just need to see more time from him.
He scores that ridiculous volley and blows everybody's mind. Then the song better erupt out of the stands.
Yeah,
please.
and I just don't know, how it's going to be interesting how he fits into the system when he starts, because somebody's going to have to give up their place. And so, is he remain an off the bench player,
or is someone taking his place right now
for quite a while? So, Bill Barco's playing the number 10 right now.
Pity's not a 10.
And
Pity's not the guy that you want to get a 10
Is he going to play left wing? Like, what?
Yeah. Pity's
So
Pity's
Tito
gonna
loses
play
out?
off.
Yeah, I think that's
Tito
the
or
question.
Gressel. It's going to be one of the two.
So, yeah, I mean, I think if he starts to show... I mean, what happens? Does it happen in training typically with a guy like this, or do you just have to, like, you know what, we're going to have to... I know Tito's great right now, but we need to give PT an opportunity to get full time. Is it sacrifice like that, or is it in the training day-to-day who's showing that they deserve that spot?
It's two things, I think. You're going to have situations like in New England where tactically you're going to have to make some changes. Like that game, you had to sacrifice an attacking player to have another holding midfielder. So you sacrificed Barco. He comes on. He does well as a sub. But you're also going to have a ton of games here where you're going to have to rotate the squad a little bit. So he's going to get some opportunities in May. And it's going to be survival of the fittest with this team, to be perfectly honest. It was something that you talk about teams who are coming off a championship. How do you keep them at the top level? You create competition for spots. And those guys are then in training, killing themselves to be in the team on the weekend. That's what you want to see with this group right now. You want Pity showing up to push Tito to be even better, push Gressel to be even better. You want that in the center back position as well. It's going to take that. But in May, you're going to have a lot of guys getting a lot of opportunities just because of the number of matches.
As someone who watched a lot of Copa Libertadores, shout out to Felipe Cardenas for directing me to immediately turn on Fanatis and make that happen.
Get the subscription. Totally worth it.
It is 100% worth it. That man is absolutely electric when he is focused and confident, and I'm telling you, it's a matter of time with this guy. And Felipe Cardenas, who bailed this evening, he shouldn't have bailed. He should have been here, but I'm not going to hold against them forever. So.
You can hear Felipe Cardenas on Unrelegated this week.
There we go. But it's a matter of time, and it's going to happen.
We have an announcement.
We have a huge announcement.
So, thanks to every single one of you in this room, we have raised $800 on a Monday night for the kids.
Night.
And that does not include any of the money from the beer we've raised. So $800 from your question answering, your scarf sales, and your raffle tickets. That is better than we could have ever imagined. It's a Monday night, and you guys have busted your butts to be here. Thank you so much.
And as we close out the show, I want to thank everybody.
That's like 2 Parley jerseys.
I've done these fundraisers for years and years and years. Like, that's borderline World Cup final kind of numbers on a Monday. Y'all are nuts. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This happens because we have people who are willing to donate their time and their energy, and you guys want to come out and say, yes, I have some cash that I'm willing to donate to you. I mean, Mike Conti has been up at the radio station all day long. He comes out here and he does this. John Nelson, he's out producing content left, right, and center all over the state. He's here tonight. Jason, you guys know that if you go to any soccer podcast at any time, Jason's probably going to make an appearance, and he's here tonight, right? We have Unrelegated here tonight. Cimbria United came out here tonight. So many people are out here. Iron Tooth came out. Guys, I said Iron Tooth.
Kelly,
Iron Tooth, yeah. I said Iron Tooth.
are you female splaining to Mike right now?
Que cazzo! Que cazzo!
All right, we got prizes to give away.
So we have prizes to give away, but guys, kids are going to benefit from this. Kids are going to have opportunities because of this, and it's all thanks to everybody in this room and online who's listening.
Guys, buy
All
some
for the
more
kids.
beers, Rowdy and Proud. $1 goes towards Soccer the Streets, and they got all sorts of cool stuff up here,
Let's give
too.
away some stuff.
Let's give away. I love it.
Raffle. Go.
All right, first up, we're raffling off the Rowdy and Proud gift basket.
Rowdy and Proud.
Thanks to 3 Taverns for
Three
donating this. Beers, hats, scarves, koozies.
Must be 21 or older to win.
The whole works.
Does it come with the basket?
21 and over, yes.
I will have
Or
to
Nick
check
takes
your
the
ID.
beers.
So Josh Sargent can't win Budweiser Man of the Match?
I'll do it. I did not buy a ticket. Okay, it can rotate around. I didn't buy any tickets.
I bought no tickets either. You can consider
I
yourself
did not.
fortunate.
I wanted to be an impartial person here.
All right, for the Rowdy and Proud basket, we have 576-342. Who won?
It's Howard Hamilton. He had to step away. I have his number right here. See? Huh?
We have verification.
All right.
Verification.
All right.
Howard, you're a winner.
So Jason pulled his friend. Did anyone catch that?
I thought this was supposed to be impartial.
All right, next up, we are going to go with the first of the U.S. men's national team jerseys as held by the Jason.
What year is that?
No,
2017?
one's a small, one's a
2017.
large. Yeah.
Whoever gets it first gets to pick size.
Perfect. All right. You ready, Jay? Oh, you bought tickets?
No,
Or-
I didn't. I
You're
didn't.
good.
I do not have any skin in this game.
You can't get these anymore. They're hard to find.
And the winner of the U.S. T-shirt or shirt,
That's limited quantity
jersey,
right there.
whatever
You
you want to
can't get
say.
it anymore.
576-313.
313.
313.
Mike
Hey! I'll just say Mike Conti bought $100
Just send me that
worth
check
of
in the mail,
tickets.
Mike.
So I'm going to tell you what, I take a few X's more than an L. So I'm going to take my jersey and auction it off for a donation to Soccer in the Streets. How about that?
Hey, what a guy!
So I'll start the bidding at, what do you think, $5? $5. Anyone got $5? Anyone have $10?
We got five,
Got
got
five,
five,
got five,
got five, got
$10.
10,
Anyone have
got
15?
10, got 10,
15.
got
I see
15.
15. Anyone with 20? 20. Does anyone have 25?
25,
30?
25.
Going 30? 35?
35,
35? 40?
40,
45? 50?
55,
55?
We got a 50.
60?
We got a 60.
65?
65.
70? 65 going once? Twice? Sold. How about that?
That is a gentleman. That is a gentleman back there.
Would
who
you
bought
like the
that.
small or the large? The small or the large?
The
Large.
large. He takes the large.
Go deliver and collect the donation. That was a fantastic deal. Look at that. We're at $865, just like that. Woohoo!
All right, let's go.
All right, next up is now the small U.S. jersey.
And that comes to the shortest guy at the table, I notice. I see what's happening here.
Kelly and I both wear smalls in case you win it and it doesn't fit you.
What's the last three again, so I know what to avoid?
I literally was right at 41.
Okay, here we go.
And the number is?
Flip it around. There we
Should
go.
have been more generous.
It is 576-374. 374.
Oh my God!
He's got him
Double
both.
dipping.
He's willing to auction it off.
Come on, come on.
Hey.
All right. Lot number 3 is a U.S. National Team 2017 training kit. I'll start the bidding at $5. That's
Start the
$5. Do I
$5.
hear $10? $10 anywhere.
$10.
Do I hear 15 anywhere? 15, 20. Do I have 20? 25? 25, 30. Do we have 30 anywhere? 30, 35. Do we have 35? It's for the kids. 35. Do we have 40? 45? 40, still at 40. 40 going once. 45. Do I have 50? Do I have 55? 50 going once. Going twice for the kids. Going 2.5 times. Sold $50. Hey, we just made $115 extra.
We're over $900 for the evening. Woo! All right.
So that brings it up to $915.
Math.
Yes! Woo! If you are listening at home right now and you're not down here a part of this amazing auction experience, hate it for you, because this is awesome.
All right, it's time for a really good one. We have got the signed Gaza Iron Tooth live at the Benz. Right. Whoa. We need to shake that baby up.
Shake it up.
Sorry if that was your ticket I just dropped.
I didn't do that. That was her doing, okay? So if you know. All right. 576-359. 359. We got a winner in the back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, brilliant. I think I told you it was a winning ticket.
I don't know if you have a rubber band or anything, so
it
be
was
gentle.
my hair tie, but I have a game to go to, so I might have taken it back.
Be gentle. He's not coming back, so...
Congratulations.
We have $10 change.
Are you making change?
I need to make change for the...
You need to make change?
Yes.
All right.
We got high rollers coming in.
Cool. There you go.
All right, Jay. This is on you.
I got it.
Wait. We will do the special Soccer in the Streets package.
Okay.
We will give you one of each of our scarves. There are only 50 of these Iron Tooth Design Nation Cup scarves available. And then we've got our special for the kids scarf.
This is not like the Parley kits where they sell out and then have a magical sale at 3 a.m. in the morning. 50 is it. That's a wrap. And if any of you guys know any of the Scarful people on this mysterious Facebook group,
Yeah,
you know,
these scarves could go for big money on
vanish.
the black scarfle market.
Black scarf market.
576-354. Boom!
354, yes!
Supporter section represent.
Supporter section.
Thank you, sir, for your supporter section service.
There you go.
I don't know where are we putting these dead ones.
The dead ones?
Calm down, Jess.
Of course, we've got the last prize. Oh, no. The aquarium tickets.
The aquarium tickets. The aquarium tickets.
And the aquarium tickets we will have delivered to you after Sunday. Our lovely gentleman here is going to pick them up for me and deliver them on Sunday.
Have
he
you
works
tried the
at the
sushi there? It's
aquarium.
really good.
Best job in the world.
Guys, they sell booze at the aquarium, okay? So you can go there and have a really great time.
Kelly, please
Get
win these
really
for us.
hammered and hang out with the belugas and the sea otters.
They had an event there at the aquarium and they had sushi. I thought that was inappropriate.
Yeah.
I still ate it, but
And actually, we have our first online winner.
I didn't eat it like in front of them.
Wait, hold what?
We have our first online winner. So if you are listening, Warren Prince, we will at you on the Twitter.
Wow.
We have an online
God bless
winner.
the internet.
The 4 tickets to the aquarium, Warren Prince.
Thank you for listening to this madness.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you for listening and tuning
Okay.
in. God
Now
bless
it's the
technology.
big one. Now it's the
What's
big
the big one?
The
2017.
2017 inaugural ATL jersey. It does have Chris McCann on the back,
Rainish.
but it's signed by everyone. Who wants to take
Signed by everyone.
Who wants to take the responsibility? Yeah,
Let's do
let
this.
Nick take that responsibility. This is his podcast, so take
The hand is
accountability.
reaching
Nick.
in.
And the name on the back of the jersey is #DeBoer No, just kidding.
It is an online winner again.
Oh, boom!
Abel Pestana, I hope you are here because you have won the 2017 signed jersey.
Do we know who Abel is? Do people know who? Look at that.
You know who Abel is?
Good
you need
job.
to text Abel immediately.
Annabelle?
And let him know.
Was Annabelle?
Abel.
Abel, okay.
A-B-E-L. Abel, you have won the signed jersey.
Congratulations, Abel.
It includes Cal Rainish.
Round of applause for yourselves, everybody.
Woohoo! Hey, actually, what size is your friend? 'Cause there's
Hold
two
on.
t-shirts.
We have stuff up here.
Yeah, guys, when we close down, there's beer. Come up.
Can we, is this? Hold up. Is this 6-pack? What's going on?
That's part of the prize.
That's part
Yeah,
of
the
the prize?
6-pack is a part.
That's part of the gift
Part of
bag.
the
Yeah.
prize.
But we do have.
So whoever got the 3 taverns
But
gift
we have
pack,
stickers.
Salute.
We have koozies. So come up, grab all this stuff when we're done with the show.
We did just find a Rowdy and Proud medium jersey, so we're going to pull out another prize just for the sake of it.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
You're getting good money, so.
Kelly's getting very upset, so we need to give her something.
And I'm sorry for everyone here, but it's another online winner. But it is the guy.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
this is a
there we
special
go.
prize.
You have to be in house to win this
We're
one.
not going to mention who that might have been.
Yep. Deal with it.
Couldn't read my handwriting.
Magical non-winner. Show up.
All right, this one is 576352.
352.
It's very close to the one that was a couple times. You may have missed out on the auction, but you got a T-shirt anyways. So
Just what he needed.
352, my favorite formation.
Excellent. Now, the final raffle, Nick will come and clean your house. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to do a very poor job. Don't expect a lot.
Wouldn't that be funny to do something like that? Be like, Jay Riddle will drive you around Atlanta wherever you want to go for an entire
Your
day.
Uber. Jay Riddle will be
you
your
have to
personal
listen to
Uber.
him talk, though. That's
And
you can't
we
turn him
lost
off.
all of our.
We'll start paying you at $5. $5.
Are we going to auction Jay off?
People will go in the negatives. Can I sell him back?
So that right there, again, we have so much stuff up here for you to come and grab. The Nations Cup is not for come and grab.
But they are $25 if you want to buy one.
That's right. And only 50 made. That is it. There will not be a second run.
All right.
And this Saturday...
Just saying, if we sell 4 Nations Cup, we'll get to $1,000 for one night of work. So 4 Nations Cup scarves. If anyone wants to be one of those 4 people, $25 for a scarf, and we would get to $1,000.
Who's coming with me? Who's got 4?
Who's going to buy a Nations Cup scarf?
Who's going to buy a Nations Cup scarf?
And you'll also be selling them at the tailgate as well?
We'll be selling them at the tailgate. We'll
Yeah.
be selling them at the event. So do not worry if you spent enough money tonight.
Yeah. So they will go. They will go.
They will go.
They'll sell
They
out
will
for
go
sure.
quickly. But again, tonight happens because all of you came to Midtown on a Monday to hang out with us. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for donating your time and your money and your energy to listen to us run our mouths. Thank you so much for everybody who's been up here tonight. Nick Alifi, this is Soccer over there. We will be back next Monday. Have a wonderful evening. Ride share, drive home safely. Mucha euro, y'all. And we sold 1 scarf. 3 more.
Guys, congratulations. Thank you so much. Yeah, my pleasure. Anytime. Anytime. Good to see you, Mark. Jay, good to see you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jill, how are you?
How are you?
I'm the soccer coach.
Oh, wonderful. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for coming out.
You won the
Listen to you guys.
You're the first prize. So you got beer, you got
Well, it's the aerodynamic look, you know.
You're ready for
You get beer?